And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers Baseball. This is Doug Greenwald coming to you live tonight. We are at UC Health Park here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, getting set for action. It is the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and the hometown Rocky Mountain Vibes. Game 3 of this 6-game series. So far, the teams are 1-1. Last night, Rocky Mountain a 6-5 win. So Yolo comes in tonight at 31-29 overall and 8-6 in the second half. Rocky Mountain enters this evening at 27-33 and 6-8 in the second half. So again, the High Wheelers and Vibes, again the third game of this 6-game set. Pitching matchup tonight for the Yolo High Wheelers. It's right-hander Ben Ferrer who gets the baseball. 5 wins, 3 losses, 5.96 ERA, and he'll be opposed by Rocky Mountain righty Carlos Lomelli, 3-3 with a 5.88 earned run average. It was supposed to have been Nick Powers tonight, but he will go tomorrow, or at least supposed to go tomorrow, for Rocky Mountain. So that is the scene here this evening. A little muggier here tonight. There is some overcast, so who knows, maybe we'll see some rain here tonight. Rain is a word that we don't usually use in Davis, certainly during the baseball season, or most parts of California, where it is just hot and dry, and it's been hot and dry here all week in the Springs and throughout other parts of Colorado. So who knows, maybe we'll get a little moisture here this evening. All right, with that said, let's go on to the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton. Getting it started in center field is Braylon Skinner. Batting second and at shortstop, Braylon Marine. Hitting third, the designated hitter, Braden Blackford. The cleanup batter is the left fielder, Jose Gonzalez. Eddie Neiman hits fifth, and he's at first base. Batting sixth and playing in right field, Tanner Smith. Kirkland Banks plays second, hits seventh. Travis Holt is the third baseman tonight, and he is slotted eighth. And the catcher, Angel Mendoza, rounds out the lineup in the ninth spot. On the mound tonight for Yolo, the right-hander, Ben Ferrer. So again, for Yolo and manager Billy Horton, it's Skinner, Marine, and Blackford, Gonzalez, Neiman, and Smith, Banks, Holt, Mendoza, and the right-hander Ferrer on the mound. For the Rocky Mountain Vibes and manager Les Lancaster, Austin Davis, he leads it off and plays center field. Batting second, playing second, is Ernie Yake. Third place hitter, the shortstop, Josh Day. The former High Wheeler, Mason Minzy, does the catching and hits cleanup. Batting fifth and in left field, Trevor Halsema. Steven Rivas is the sixth place batter, and he is in right field. Austin Schunard will make his first appearance of the series. He is the designated hitter. He wears number 7 and bats seventh. Hitting eighth and at first base, Carter Mize, and Eddie McCabe is the third baseman, and he hits ninth with the right-hander Carlos Lomelli on the mound. So again, for the Rocky Mountain Vibes, it's Davis, Yake, and Josh Day, Minzy, Halsema, Rivas, Schunard, Mize, McCabe, and the right-hander Lomelli on the mound. The starting lineups here tonight. So again, in this series, after tonight, we have 3 more games. Tomorrow, Pacific, these will all give you Pacific time starts. Tomorrow, 5:35. Saturday, 5:35. And Sunday is a 12:05 Pacific time first pitch. Then we'll have Monday off, and then we start a series next week in Northern Colorado against the Northern Colorado Owls. Pitching matchup tomorrow night. And again, these are all subject to change because each team announced a particular group of starters, and then there's been some changes with the Yolo rotation and obviously the Vibes rotation. So tomorrow night for Yolo, right-hander Brendan Knoll against Rocky Mountain, lefty Nick Powers. Saturday night for Yolo, Cameron Rapetti against Rocky Mountain, righty Christian Day. And then Sunday afternoon, right-hander Brandon McPherson for Yolo. And Rocky Mountain is to be determined. So that's where things stand here on this, as I said, so we're at the moment rather quiet Thursday evening. The crowd making its way in right now at this 8,500-seat facility. We're just waiting for the national anthem. Mention the records of these ball clubs. The standings right now, we're almost, almost 3 series into the second half. And again, you have to finish either first or second in this half to get to the playoffs. Boise is at 11-3, a one-game lead over Missoula. Northern Colorado third, one game back, and Yolo is 3 games out of first, but remember, only a couple of games back of a playoff spot, needing to get to second place. Meanwhile, Rocky Mountain 6-8, they're already 5 out of first, and 4 out of a playoff spot. So, as I said, that's where things stand right now. The first half champions, of course, were Glacier and Missoula. So Missoula, now they have a chance to, they win the second half, or when they playoff spot in the second half, then it would go to the next highest overall record team. So, but we have a long way to worry about that, as manager Billy Horton says, and I think most managers will tell you, whether it be the Yolo skipper in Horton or other managers, you know what, let's worry about winning this game tonight. All right, we're going to send it down to the field as the Vibes are taking the field, and we'll have the national anthem for you momentarily on YouTube Live. All right, the national anthem here tonight from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. We'll have our YouTube Live casts throughout this road trip. And again, the High Wheelers don't get home for quite some time. We're not home until August 20th against Boise, and then we're only home for 6 games. And then we're right back on the road. I say right back on the road. I mean, we still got a ton of time. I mean, we're still, almost 3 weeks on this trip, or more than 2.5 weeks left on this trip. But we've got a ton going on, obviously, throughout Colorado, and then we'll worry about a lot of the other stuff later. Carlos Lomelli is on the mound tonight for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. The L.A. area native in Lomelli comes in with a record of 3-4, 7.38 earned run average. This will be his 13th appearance, all as a starter. And we have seen Lomelli this year, and I say we, meaning the Yolo High Wheelers, have seen Lomelli this year. In fact, Lomelli was the opening night starter for Rocky Mountain back on May 21st. Of course, that game spilled into May 22nd because of the lighting issues. That was a Yolo 10-7 win. Lomeli did not figure a decision in that ball game. But anyway, Lomeli, as I said, on the mound here this evening for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. The umpires for tonight's game, calling balls and strikes, is Elliot Sparks. The umpire at first base is the crew chief, Cody Kernut. And the umpire around at third is Brian Rose. Those are your Pioneer League assigned umpires for this evening's game. Billy Horton is the Yolo third base coach and manager, and coaching over at first base is the bench coach, Gary Davenport. All right, ready to go on this Thursday night from El Paso County. And as I said, this is now how I really remember Colorado Springs. Partly overcast, partly clear. Braylon Skinner lays it off, and Christian Lomeli ready to go out of the windup. And the first pitch of the ball game is hit to first base. Grabbed chest high by Carter Mize, who stepped to his right, and he'll run the ball over to first to get Braylon Skinner, who was out 3 and assisted, to open the ball game at 6:41 this evening. 83 degrees tonight, so it's a little cooler here tonight compared to the last couple of nights. First night, it was 90 degrees at first pitch. Last night, 88 degrees at first pitch. Tonight, 83 degrees. Now it's Braylon Marine and Lomeli's pitch, and that is low inside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes to Marine, who missed last night's game, had a hand issue, but obviously back in there tonight. Lomeli delivers, and Braylon is swinging a miss at a slider, and that is strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Marine. 372 for Marine, 7 home runs. He has 48 runs batted in. And the pitch, and Marine takes, and that is high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And big news today out of the Pioneer League involving Braylon Marine and also involving Yolo pitcher Cameron Rapetti. Outfield fairly deep straight away, and the pitch, and Marine swings, and he lines this ball into left field, and that will get down on 1 hop in front of the left fielder Halsema for a base hit. So Braylon Marine, we've been scuffling a little bit of late. 1 hit in his last 15 at-bats coming into tonight, and then recently, a few nights ago, snapped an 0-for-10 drought. Has a single, and now Braden Blackford comes up. Well, anyway, congratulations to Braylon Marine and to Cameron Rapetti. Both were named to the Pioneer League All-Star team. That announcement earlier today. So now it's Braden Blackford who comes up. The Marine at first, being held on by Mize. No score, top of the first. And the sidestep offering is in the dirt, and now Marine takes off for second, and that'll be a wild pitch. So Marine up to second base just like that. Pitch was in the dirt, blocked by Minzy, but in the wild pitch there moves Marine up to second. And the count to Blackford is at 1 ball and no strikes. Blackford averaged at .337, 10 homers, 42 RBIs as he pokes one foul down the left field side. So I forgot the ball strike indicator is not working, so the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Say the indicator, I have an indicator. The ball strike indicator on the scoreboard is not working. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Marine leads at second. Lomeli's pitch, and Blackford takes, and that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the first team All-Stars, there's 2 teams. There was a first team All-Star squad and a second team All-Star squad for the Pioneer League as Blackford swings, and he flies this one deep toward center field, sends Austin Davis back, and he'll be there in front of the warning track to make the catch. Marine tags from second. He is on his way to third as Davis's throw comes in toward the shortstop, Josh Day. So Blackford flies to center, 2 out, top of the first, no score. And here is the left fielder in Jose Gonzalez. So neither Rapetti nor Marine made the first team, but both were named to the second team All Pioneer League squad. So now it's Jose Gonzalez who comes up. No score, top of the first inning. Marine leads at third. Good size lead in foul ground. And the pitch, and Gonzalez is swinging a foul to plate, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. So Marine was the shortstop on the second team for the Pioneer League. And Cameron Rapetti, one of the 4 starting pitchers named for that squad. So congratulations to both making the second team in the Pioneer League All-Star squad. As Gonzalez, who very easily could have been on one of those teams, fouls one of the screens, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. I'm sure you could have said that about a lot of high-wheelers. I talked about that with Yolo manager Billy Horton yesterday. He says, how is it that guys like Braylon Skinner and Jose Gonzalez and, just others, so the relievers, Connor Langrell, Ty Buckner, how do they not get on the club? As the pitch, breaking ball, and that's low, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But unfortunately, only have so many spots, and obviously other players on other teams having good years as well. But a lot of people left off, no doubt. Ball and 2 strikes, no score, top of the first, and Gonzalez swings and goes the other way, left field, base hit, and Marine will score. And Yolo has jumped on the board first tonight, so give Jose Gonzalez a single to left, 1-0 Yolo as the left fielder Halsema gets the ball back in towards short. So Jose Gonzalez, RBI number 53 this year, which matches Bobby Leday for tops on Yolo. And now Eddie Neiman, who did not play last night. So Neiman will come to the plate for the first time this evening. .397 for Neiman through his first 17 games with Yolo. 2 homers, 11 RBIs. And Lomeli's pitch, and that is high, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes to Neiman. Mentioned the .397 average. Now, he certainly doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify to be the leader on the club, but he is listed first. Obviously, he's only been here a few weeks. The pitch on the way from Lomeli. He's inside for a ball. And that moves the count down to 2 balls and no strikes. Neiman has started, coming into tonight, Neiman has started 14 games for Yolo, and he has hits in 13 of those starts. And he's hit safely in 15 of the 17 games he's played. Slider swing and a miss, but the pitch in the dirt, and down to second base goes Gonzalez, who I think was off on the pitch. We'll have to get an official ruling on that. And it, indeed, the scorekeeper does say stolen base. So Gonzalez does steal second. Yeah, I thought he was off on the pitch. It was in the dirt. Probably a pitch that he would have made to second anyway, but since he was off on the pitch, he obviously gets credit for the stolen base. A run home for Yolo, and Neiman swings and a tapper up a long third, foul. Now the count's now with 3 balls and 1 strike. So Gonzalez, stolen base for him is his 7th now in 10 tries. Meanwhile, the count to Neiman is at 3-1. So of the 17 games Eddie has played overall, I remember there were a few times that he's come off the bench, he has hit safely in 15 of the 17 and has hit safely in 13 of his 14 starting games. He's already had a pair of 6-game hitting streaks. So that's tough to have a pair of 6-game hitting streaks tucked into 17 games played, or, as I said, 14 starts. Gonzalez at second, and Neiman is hit with a pitch. Breaking ball gets him on the left arm. So Neiman, who earlier, when he had just joined the High Wheelers, had been hit like the neighborhood of 4 times through his first couple of games, somewhere in that area. But Neiman hit with a pitch, so he'll go down to first. Obviously, Gonzalez stays at second. Neiman, 5th time this year now with Yolo, and he has been hit with a pitch. So, first and second now with 2 out, a run in for the High Wheelers. And now it's Tanner Smith who will come to the plate at .276, 4 home runs. He has 28 RBIs. And Tanner swats one in the air, foul left side, strike 1. No balls and a strike to count from Christian Lomeli. Mentioned grew up in the L.A. area. It's from Bellflower, California. That's pretty much extension of Long Beach. 6'2", 195 pounds. 25 years old, was with Rocky Mountain last year. Runners lead at first and second, and the pitch, and that's tapped foul up along first. And that is strike 2. And the count moves now to no balls and 2 strikes from Lomeli to Tanner Smith. Lomelli, again, 3 wins this season. And again, was the opening night starter at Yolo on May 21st. Runners at first and second, the pitch to Smith. That's in the dirt, and Minzy, tough time trying to juggle that ball, keeps it within his glove or that home plate area, but on the wild pitch, Gonzalez moves to third. Neiman holds it first, but it is a wild pitch advancing Gonzalez from second to third. So it's runners at the corners now with 2 out for Smith. And a 1-0 Yolo lead here in the top half of the first inning. There's Lomelli from the high set. And the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch foul to the plate. And the count holds at 1-2. Lomelli lost his last outing. That was July 28th at Grand Junction, 13-4 Jackalopes win. And a game that Lomelli would like to forget. Worked an inning and 2/3. Allowed 10 hits, 10 runs all earned. Walked 2 and had no strikeouts. Lomelli has lost each of his last 2 starts. Both have been in Grand Junction, and both have, well, not been good starts. I mean, I mentioned the 10 runs he gave up in an inning and 2/3, and then earlier in that series, July 23rd, the first game of that set, he allowed 9 hits over 3 innings and 7 earned runs. 7 runs all earned in that game, so he allowed 17 earned runs over the 2 games he pitched in Grand Junction. A run home for Yolo, top of the first, and Smith swings and chops this ball into right field. He's got himself a base hit. Neiman will take the turn at second, and he will stop there, but in to score from third is Gonzalez. And it's a 2-run top half of the first inning for the High Wheelers, so give Tanner Smith an RBI. And for Tanner, that is RBI number 29. And now Kirkland Banks will come to the plate. So Lomelli in that series at Grand Junction was 0-2. And the pitch on the way here to Banks, and that's fly to right field. Rivas comes jogging in, a long way to come in, but he'll be there to make the catch, and Banks is out. But just to finish our thought on Lomelli in that series, his ERA was at 32.79. Well, Grand Junction will do that to you. I don't mean that team literally, but pitching against anybody, I guess, in Grand Junction. Banks is out, but the High Wheelers strike for 2 runs in the first inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left after half an inning tonight. It is Yolo 2 and Rocky Mountain coming up on YouTube Live. After half an inning tonight, Yolo 2 and Rocky Mountain coming up to face Yolo right-hander Ben Ferrer. The Atlanta area native, 5 wins, 3 losses, 5.96 ERA. Ninth start for Ferrer. I'm sorry, it's his 8th start. This is his 8th start and his 16th appearance overall. So on to the bottom half of the first inning. And again, a 2-run lead for the Yolo High Wheelers, and Austin Davis will lead it off for the Rocky Mountain Vibes, and Ferrer's first pitch, and that is low ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes to Austin Davis, who shockingly was 0 for 5 last night after having 4 hits here the first game of the series. And the pitch on the way is outside from Ferrer. Well, the count now moves to 2 balls and no strikes. So Davis, Yake, and Josh Day to face Ben Ferrer. And the pitch, and Davis, as he usually did with Oakland, when he wants to take a pitch all the way, he'll just step out of the box and let the pitcher fire it in, and that Ferrer did. So the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis took Ferrer for a home run July 6th in Oakland as he swings and misses at a fastball. Apparently that was strike 2. That last swing was strike 2. So now the count, I had my indicator for a moment. I believe the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll go with 2-2. And the pitch, and Davis looks, that's outside ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we'll go with 3-2. How about that? So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Davis. So yeah, that was that 13-10 Yolo win on July 6th at Oakland. Kind of a crazy game. Ferrer ready to go, makes the payoff, and Davis swings, and he flies this one into shallow right field. Plenty of real estate for Tanner Smith. And the right fielder reaches above his black cap to make the catch. And Davis is out, 1 down. That was a game in which Yolo led 10-0 going to the bottom of the 5th inning. And then Ferrer allowed 4 runs in the 5th and was taken out after the 5th, so at least he left in line for a win. And then, as it turns out, Oakland came back to eventually tie the game at 10, and then Yolo scored the last 3 runs after that. Ferrer, yeah, as I said, allowed 4 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings, struck out 7 in that one, gave up 3 homers, 1 to Davis, 1 to Halsema, and then gave up 1 to Peyton Hard. In fact, he gave up the 3 home runs he gave up were all in that 5th inning. And now it's Yake who takes outside ball 1. 1-0. 2-0 Yolo. And Yake swings, and he flies this one toward left center. Skinner far to his right, and the center fielder will get there to make the catch. And Yake is out. So 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. It is a 2-0 Yolo advantage. And now Josh Day will come up to face Ben Ferrer, who is in his 2nd year in the Pioneer League, was at Glacier last year. 4-seam fastball, a cutter, a curveball, and a changeup for Ferrer, who again has a 5-3 record. His 5 wins match Cameron Rapetti and Jack Zalaski for tops on the High Wheelers. Now it's Josh Day, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike. Today we had the game-deciding double last night in that 2-run Rocky Mountain 7th. It was 4-4 going to the 7th, and then the Vibes scored twice in the bottom of the 7th and went on to win 6-5. As Day swings, slaps one foul up along first. And that is strike 2. And the count is now at no balls and 2 strikes from Ben Ferrer, who played his college baseball at South Carolina Upstate in Spartanburg, and then went on to transfer to Oregon State, where he played his final 2 college years for the Beavers. Ben is 24 years old, 5'11", 195 pounds. Start of the year in the bullpen for the High Wheelers. Count today is at 0-2. And the pitch, and that's grounded foul up along third. And the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes from UC Health Park here in Colorado Springs. It's 2-0 Yolo. Home half of the first inning. Mason Minzy wetting on deck. And a little more humid tonight. As I said, It is overcast. Sun did try to peek through a few moments ago. 0-2. 2-0 Rocky, or 2-0 High Wheelers, and a curve swing and a miss, strike 3. And Josh Day is out. First strikeout for Ferrer in a perfect first inning. After 1, it's 2-0 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. We move on to the top half of the second inning. It is 2-0 in favor of the Yolo High Wheelers. I want to say hello to our good friend, Mr. Mike Sapel, listening in Davis. If Mike were to go back to his original home in Australia, by the time he gets down there and then comes back to Davis, that would eat up the 3 weeks of this road trip, I think. But Mike does a great job, no doubt about it. And probably some well-deserved downtime for Michael and the High Wheelers staff after that 19-game homestand, or 19 home games in July for Yolo, which in the end had, 16 in a row. Travis Holt leads it off, and he fouls it off left side from Christian Lomelli, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 2-0 Yolo, top of the second. The windup and the pitch. And Holt swings, and he drives one toward right field. Rivas twisting and turning, backpedaling, makes the catch. And Holt is out, 1 down. So Holt still hitless as a member of the High Wheelers, now 0 for his first 10 after batting .244 in 22 games this year with Billings. So Billings was here earlier this year, so Holt has already played some games this season at this ballpark. 1 down. So it's Holt, Mendoza, and then the top of the Yolo order for the center fielder Skinner, 8, 9, and 1. And now first pitch on the way to Angel Mendoza. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1 from Lomelli. No balls and 1 strike. So Mendoza, 2 for 3 last night. A couple singles, an RBI, and a run scored. The one out he made, he hit one all the way to the wall, but it was caught in center by Austin Davis as Mendoza swings and misses, strike 2. And the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes to Angel Mendoza. Comes in at 153, 2 homers, 15 runs batted in. 0-2 the count. The windup by Lomelli, man the pitch, and Mendoza swings and he fists one foul just to my right below me. And the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes with a 2-0 Yolo lead. Well, as I said on this, they say you can almost smell like it's going to rain. Just has that kind of scent to it. The windup and the pitch, and that is high, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just not something, as I said, that we're really used to out in Davis or the Sacramento area. 2-0 Yolo, top of the second. As Lomelli kicks and delivers, and Mendoza swings, drives one towards center, but that'll hold up for the center fielder Davis, moving to his right to make the catch. Sort of a sinking liner there. And Mendoza is out, so 2 down. Top half of the second inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. Nothing across for Rocky Mountain. And now for the second time in as many innings, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder and Braylon Skinner. He is 0 for 1, grounded to first unassisted to open the game. Skinner coming into tonight, I failed to mention when he stepped in, 304 with 4 homers, 35 RBIs. Lomelli delivers, and Skinner shows bunt and takes low and in, ball 1. And that moves the count to 1 ball and no strikes. Big hole out in right center field. The kick and the pitch. And a breaking ball, a swing and a miss. And that is strike 1. And the count's now 1 ball and 1 strike. So talking about Lomelli, he's lost his last 2 starts. His last win, you got to go back to June 15th at Oakland. 5-4 win over the Ballers. A 1-1 on the way, and that's foul to the backstop, strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes with the shortstop Braylon Marine on deck. So gentle breeze here tonight. Overcast at the ballpark. And again, I, for many years, would come into Colorado Springs. And weather's always an issue. As this pitch hit foul up along third. Count holds at 1-2 with the High Wheelers up 2-0 in the top of the second. So the first 2 nights, yeah, weather's been an issue. It's been really, really hot for what would be considered Colorado Springs standards with temperatures in the low 90s. The windup and the pitch, and that is low, ball 2. And that moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2-0 Yolo, top of the second. And you have a night like this, so obviously we're literally at the ballpark. As most of you can figure out, the 2-2. And that's poked down the left field side. Halsema on the run, and the ball lands in the Yolo bullpen. Count remains at 2-2, with the score remaining 2-0 Yolo over Rocky Mountain, top of the second. Well, anyway, so this is what I seem to remember mostly about doing games here in Colorado Springs. You have overcast at the ballpark with the sun somehow trying to fight its way through it. And then you look on the other side of the ballpark where it's a busy street where you have a lot of retail. And there's a soccer field right behind the baseball stadium. And it's sunny over there. The windup in the 2-2 pitch, and that's fist to the shortstop. Josh Day waits for the ball to come to him. Up with the baseball, throws the Mize at first. And Skinner is retired, as are the High Wheelers, who go in order in the second. Inning and a half gone by. It's 2-0 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Mason Minzy gets the bottom of the second going for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. A 2-0 Yolo lead. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Glad you can join us on this Thursday night. So it's Minzy, Halsema, and Rivas. 4-5-6 to face Ben Ferrer, who had a perfect first inning. And now he faces his former battery mate in Minzy, and Mason hits one foul up along first, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to Minzy, who certainly had a good night last night, and he had a big hit in that 7th inning A 2-out RBI single, which instead of a 1-run inning, it made it a 2-run inning and made it a 2-run Vibes lead. That was a big run as Minzy is swinging a miss at a breaking ball. And that is strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Because when you think about it, Yolo got a run right back. But instead of it tying the game, it only brought the High Wheelers to within 1, and they, lost by that margin. 0-2 to Minzy. Low for a ball. 1-2. And I know that a pitcher might pitch differently with a 2-run lead than a 1-run lead. Pitch selection is going to be different. Maybe the defense is going to be positional differently. Who knows? But anyway, it was a big hit. Big second run there. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Mason. In his first now 10 days with a 5. Swings on a chopper back at first. It's a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Caught up with Minzy before the game tonight. Said that he seems to be happy over here with the Vibes. Of course, it's been a busy week of transactions. It's really been a busy week of transactions all around baseball. Obviously, the Major League trade deadline just completed. 2-0 Yolo, bottom of the second, and the 1-2 pitch, low outside ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talking about all the Vibes new players with Austin Davis and Trevor Halsema coming over from Oakland, Minzy coming over from Yolo. Ben Ferrer's 2-2, and Minzy takes, and that's low and in ball 3. And the count moves now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. But anyway, I walked in the Rocky Mountain Clubhouse tonight and not only caught up with Minzy, but also talked a little bit to Austin Davis. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Ferrer kicks, and the payoff. Swing and a missed strike 3, and Minzy is down on strike. So Minzy mentioned that insurance run 7th inning single last night. Prior to that, he had walked 3 times, so he was 1 for 1 last night with 2 runs scored, an RBI, and reached base safely 4 times. But is out here, and that's a second strikeout for Ferrer. 1 out. First 4 set down by Ferrer tonight, and now Trevor Halsema, who homered off Ferrer on July 6th in Oakland. He bats here on the 1st of August, and he swings and flies this one to center field. Skinner back a few steps. Now comes in a few steps and makes the catch. So Halsema is out number 2 in the bottom of the second inning. Oh, well, guess what we just saw, folks? Something I haven't seen in a long time. I mentioned it was a little overcast here tonight. Saw some lightning way out in the distance. Don't see that out in California too often. Certainly not during baseball season. Now it's Steven Rivas who digs in. 2-0 in favor of the High Wheelers. Bottom of the second inning. And Ferrer kicks and delivers as we now hear thunder, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. It is really, really dark. And I mean, there's overcast and there's dark overcast. It is really dark overcast way back at center field. The kick in the 0-1. And that's outside, ball 1 to Rivas. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike to Steven Rivas. 83, or actually now 85 RBIs this year. Swings and taps this ball toward third. Scampering to his left, Holt. And the third baseman will throw to Neiman at first. And Rivas is out. 2 perfect innings so far for Ferrer. Nothing across in the second for Rocky Mountain. On to the third. 2-0 Yolo out in front on YouTube Live. Heading on to the third inning tonight, as the overcast seems like it's getting closer and closer. It's 2-0 Yolo, leading Rocky Mountain. Lights are on. They're usually on by the first pitch here, but you look at the diamond. Well, I can look at the diamond, and it's, for the most part, sunny. But then way out in the distance, it's very, very dark and overcast. Meanwhile, I think there's a new shortstop for Rocky Mountain. But I can certainly smell the rain. Let's get back to the game. Braylon Marine leads it off in the first pitch from Lomelli as a strike called on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. Marine, Blackford, and Gonzalez, 2, 3, and 4. As the kick and the pitch, and Braylon takes outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trying to see I think that's Devin Lopez, the new shortstop. The kick and the pitch, and Marine swings and lines one into left center, a base hit. And the ball bobbled now by the center fielder Davis, and Marine seeing that will go into second base. So it'll be a single and an error. So Marine gets credit for a single to center, and then the center fielder Davis booted that ball. And after that, Marine seeing that goes into second base standing up. So hit plus error. That's the first error for either side tonight. And a 90-foot break possibly for the High Wheelers. Now it's Braden Blackford who digs in. Yeah, Devin Lopez is the new shortstop. So Josh Day comes out of the game. So Lopez, he will bat in the third spot. Now the pitch on the way is outside ball 1 to Braden Blackford. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So Lopez at short, bats third. Count to Blackford is at 1-0. And the pitch, Braden swings, hits one back to the mound, and now Marine hung up between second and third. The pitcher Lomelli will run Marine back towards second, and he is tagged out by the shortstop in Lopez. Contact play was on, and then Marine was caught in no man's land. So much for that 90-foot break. Now it's the 90-foot break the other way for Rocky Mountain. They get the 90 feet right back. 1-6 on the, that'll go as a fielder's choice. So Blackford is at first. He's 0 for 2. Marine is out 1-6. As I said, the pitcher Lomelli to the shortstop in Devin Lopez. Now it's Jose Gonzalez, an RBI single, and a run scored in the first, also stole a base. 2-0 Yolo. Top half of the third inning from UC Health Park here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So Blackford, the runner at first, and the pitch, and Gonzalez takes, and that's outside ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Blackford, in terms of steals this year, 2 stolen bases, and he has not been caught. Outfield fairly deep straightaway. 2-0 Yolo, top of the third, and the pitch. And that's taken low ball 2. No, the count now at 2 balls and no strikes. But yeah, that overcast way out behind the center field wall. And I've explained earlier in this series where this ballpark is located. Pitch on the way to Gonzalez, and that is a strike called on the outside corner. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 1 strike. That you can go way out there, and it's almost like you're in Kansas. When you go maybe an hour and a half east of Colorado Springs, you are in Kansas. I mean, Kansas borders maybe 90 miles from here. 2-0 Yolo. Lomelli deals from the set, swing, ground ball towards short. Lopez up with it, steps on second for 1, and throws to Mize at first for 2. That's a double play. So what started out promising in this top of the third for Yolo, it is just the opposite, 6-3 on the double play. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left after 2.5 innings. It remains Yolo 2 and Rocky Mountain nothing on YouTube Live. On we go to the bottom half of the third inning, a 2-0 Yolo advantage over Rocky Mountain. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. Glad you can join us on this Thursday night from UC Health Park. Those of you listening on YouTube, more than welcome to chat with us. I'm certainly online tonight. Talk baseball, talk High Wheelers, talk Pioneer League. So Austin Schunard leads it off. And Ben Ferrer's first pitch. Schunard in his first appearance of the series. A big swing and a miss, strike one to the designated hitter. No balls and a strike, bottom third of the Rocky Mountain order. Schunard, Mize, and McCabe to face Ben Ferrer. 2 perfect innings, as I said, for Ferrer. As the 0-1 pitch, and Schunard shoots this one foul down the right field side toward the banquet hall which is located down the right field line above the 5-tier outdoor seating section. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes to Austin Schunard. We talked about him this year. Comes from a baseball family. 0-2 the count. And the pitch, and Schunard swings, and he pops this one up back of the plate, and that will reach the seats over toward the first base side of home. And the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Schunard 271 in 15 games for the Vibes. 2 homers, 15 runs batted in. But Schunard's dad, Bobby, former pitcher in the big leagues with the A's, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies, and was in the Rocky Mountain Clubhouse before the game tonight and met Bobby Schunard. Outfield straightaway. 2-0 Yolo, away on the pitch. Schunard reaches for this one. He pops it up softly, right side of the diamond. The first baseman, Neiman, calling for it. And on the back portion of the dirt, Eddie Neiman makes the catch. So Schunard is out on a pop up to first, one away. And now it's the first baseman who comes up in Carter Mize. But Bobby Schunard pitched in the, as I said, pitched in the big leagues primarily in the 1990s. So I remember him when he introduced himself, and I said, I know who you are. Yeah, he pitched with the A's and Diamondbacks. And he looked at me and said, yes, and the Rockies. That's why I moved to Colorado full time. Now it's Carter Mize, and he grounds this ball through the hole between first and second in the right field, a base hit. First hit, first base runner for the Vibes. It comes with 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. It is 2-0 in favor of the Yolo High Wheelers. And now it's Eddie McCabe who will come to the plate. So Mize, relatively new with the Vibes. Last night had a good game. He was 2 for 3, a couple singles, an RBI, and a walk for Mize. And now it's Eddie McCabe who digs in. But, yeah, Schunard, I didn't really talk to him much about the following, but Bobby I'm talking about as the pitch to McCabe, and that's outside, ball 1. Ball no strike. Schunard was born in the Philippines, was born in Manila, but grew up in the Portland, Oregon area. So the count is at 1 ball and no strikes to McCabe. 2-0 Yolo. Ferrer from the set delivers, and McCabe drives this one deep toward center field. Sends Skinner going back, and Brayland will be there in front of the track to make the catch. So it's 410 feet to straightaway center. McCabe hit that about maybe 400 feet, but he is retired. So 2 down. Mize back to first base. The lead is 2-0 Yolo. We're in the bottom of the third inning, and now for the second time tonight, Rocky Mountain will go to the top of its order for the center fielder in Austin Davis. It's 350 down the lines here at UC Health Park, 385 to the gaps, and 410 to straightaway center. So now it's Davis who swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Mize, the runner at first, 0 for 1 in steal tries through his first 8 games as a member of Rocky Mountain. No balls and 1 strike to count. Third baseman Holt right near the bag. And the pitch, and Davis swings, and he rips this one toward left field. That'll get down for a hit. Mize will cruise up to second base. He stops there as the left fielder Gonzalez gets the ball in toward short. So Austin Davis now 1 for 2 as another bolt of lightning occurs. I talked to somebody in the press box between innings, and he said that he thinks that we're going to get a big heap of rain soon. And I realize we're in the bottom of the third inning. Let's just get through 5 innings, make an official game if that happens. Now it's Yake has the possible go-ahead run, and he swings and he pops this one up toward the line and left. Gonzalez on the run, and the ball lands foul in the Yolo bullpen. That's strike one. No balls and one strike to Yake. Facing Ben Ferrer, who is making his third start this year. Or actually, this is his... let's try that again. This is his fourth appearance against Rocky Mountain this year. This is his third start against the Vibes. No balls, one strike. And the pitch, and was up and in, a check swing, foul to the backstop. And that is strike two. So no balls and two strikes the count. Ferrer is 2-0 this year against Rocky Mountain. Beat them on July 13th in Davis, 9-3. Ferrer had 10 strikeouts over 7 innings of that one. No balls, two strikes. And the pitch, and that's grounded foul up along first. And the count holds at 0-2. Yeah, so Ferrer is 2-0 against Rocky Mountain this year. Beat the Vibes on opening night. Got the win, the first ever winning pitcher in the history of the High Wheelers. Ferrer pitched a scoreless fifth inning, and then Yolo took the lead while he was the pitcher of record. And sort of an interesting story there. The win was originally given to Jacob Stobart. It was scorer's discretion. Stobart came in after Ferrer and pitched 2 shutout innings, even though Ferrer was the pitcher of record when Yolo took the lead after 4 innings. That's the pitch here to Yake, and that's outside ball 1-2. But it was changed a couple of weeks ago, and the win was given to Ferrer. Because it was sort of a strange situation. I was looking up his records this year. I'm thinking, where did that 5th win come from? And then I noticed that the win was changed on opening night, and he confirmed that when I asked him yesterday. We got on the bus. Runners lead at first and second, 2-0 Yolo. 2 out, and the pitch, and Yake swings and pops this ball up foul third base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2-0 Yolo. Bottom of the third inning. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Anyway, so Ben Ferrer said, yeah, he says, they changed it. I was given credit for the win since he was the pitcher of record. I mean, technically the score does have discretion on who can get the win in that case, but it was changed to Ferrer. So he's 2-0 this year against Rocky Mountain. The kick and the 1-2 pitch to Yake, low inside, snapped to the first, and just back safely with a dive is Davis. The first baseman, Neiman, was playing well back of the bag. It was a snap throw from the catcher, Mendoza. Good thing that Neiman was alert down there. Good thing Davis was alert, the runner, down there. So the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes with the score 2-0 in favor of Yolo. Bottom half of the third with Devin Lopez on deck. Outfield not terribly deep for Yake, for the Bellingham, Washington native. And Ferrer kicks and delivers, and Yake swings, and he bloops one to shortstop, but an easy catch on the looper by the backpedaling shortstop, Raylan Marine, on the lip of the outfield grass. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left onto the fourth. It is 2-0 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Well, we go to the top of the fourth, Yolo 2 and Rocky Mountain nothing, and Eddie Neiman leads it off. And the first pitch from Carlos Lomelli drills Neiman, once again gets him in his left arm. And Neiman, a rather long look out at Lomelli saying, man, what are you doing? You've done that now to me twice. So Neiman opens the top of the fourth, hit with a pitch, so he's at first again with a hit by pitch, second time tonight. And now it's Tanner Smith who comes up, and he swings, ground ball second base, right at Yake. Flips to Lopez at second for one, and the shortstop Sotomayor at first. Immediately, 2 out and nobody on. So 4-6-3 on the double play. So Smith, who had an RBI single in the first inning, now is within 2 pitches, 2 outs. Not quite the way that Lomelli had thought, but it is still 2 pitches, 2 outs quickly, top half of the fourth inning. Wind is picked up here, although this does feel refreshing, I have to say. It's been just, well, aside from how hot it's been in Davis, but obviously hot here. And now it's Banks who takes up an in ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. You know, I mentioned that Neiman had been hit quite a bit in that series against Rocky Mountain when we saw the vibes a few weeks ago. Lomelli delivers, and that's popped up foul by Banks, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. I'm looking to see Lomelli, when he faced Neiman on July 10th, Neiman was 1 for 2 against Lomelli in that game. Now, Neiman was also with a pitch in that game, but that was not Lomelli who hit him. But Neiman was, as I said, still hit with a pitch in that series several times. The pitch here to Banks, ground ball to shortstop, right under the glove of the shortstop Lopez. The ball goes into left field, where it's picked up by Halsema, and Kirkland Banks is on at first. So Banks, the runner at first base, will wait the ruling on that one. That should be an error, but it's not my department at this ballpark. 2-0 in favor of the Yolo High Wheelers. We're in the top half of the fourth. And now it's Travis Holt who comes up. Still looking for his first hit with Yolo. 0 for 1 tonight, meaning still looking for his first hit as a High Wheeler, period. So Banks, good speed. The runner at first base. Wind really whipping up now. Still overcast. The flag's really, really whipping out toward left field. And Lomelli from the high set delivers, and Holt takes outside ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. That, by the way, will be ruled an error. They just haven't put it up on the scoreboard yet, but I'm sitting in the booth over from the scorekeeper who indicated that's an error on the shortstop Lopez. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Holt. And the pitch, swinging a chopper toward third to his left. McCabe up with the ball, and he'll throw on a Mize at first. And Holt is out. 1 third baseman grounds to the other. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We move to the bottom half of the fourth inning with the score. 2-0 Yolo out in front over Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Moving on to the bottom half of the fourth inning tonight from Colorado Springs. It is 2-0 Yolo. And Devin Lopez leads it off against Ben Ferrer. And the first pitch to Lopez is low ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Lopez, Minzy, and Halsema. 3, 4, and 5. So Lopez, who came on in the third inning to take over at shortstop for Josh Day. As Ben Ferrer delivers, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. It's amazing. I can't even remember what the first pitch was. And the last pitch was a strike. So we're either at 1-1 or 0-2. We are in the bottom of the fourth. I know that much. As Ferrer delivers, and Lopez takes outside for a ball. Now Lopez, 234 average, 2 homers. And he's got 16 runs batted in. Outfield medium depth straight away. And Ben Ferrer kicks and deals. And a swing and a miss at a breaking ball. So now it's strike 2. So the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ferrer, just want to clean up what I was talking about earlier. Ferrer is 2-0 this year against Rocky Mountain. This is his 3rd appearance against the Vibes and his 2nd start versus them as he deals, and that's slowing in. Ball 3, 3-2. So Ferrer is perfect against the Vibes this year. He has won both his outings against Rocky Mountain. Kicking the 3-2 pitch, and Lopez swings and slices this one toward right, and that's perfectly placed. There was no chance for Smith to get that ball, and the baseball's going to roll around the base of the 18-foot wall, and Lopez only gets as far as second base. I think the crowd was saying, how did you not get the third on that one? I was a little surprised that he didn't get the third on that one. Leadoff double as Smith, the right fielder, gets the ball in towards second. And now Mason Minzy comes up with a 2-0 Yolo advantage in the bottom half of the fourth. And it's an 18-foot wall for the most part, from the left field foul pole out toward the video board in left center. And the wall drops down to 8 feet, and then it goes back up to 18 feet. And then when you get to straightaway center, it dips back to 8 feet. And then once you get past the batter's eye, then the ball goes back up to 18 feet high. So it's going left to right. It's 18, 8, 18, 8, and 18 again. Now it's Minzy, and he drives this one towards center. To his right is Skinner, and the center fielder Braylon Skinner makes the catch, and Minzy is out, unproductive out because it keeps Devin Lopez at second base, and that is out number 1 in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The lead is 2-0 Yolo, and now Trevor Halsema comes up. But anyway, that ball curved at the bottom of the 18-foot wall, and Tanner Smith had a long way to go to get that baseball. Now Halsema digs in, and Ferrer delivers, and Halsema flies this one down the right field line and foul back of the hot tub area. Strike 1. And the count moves to no balls and 1 strike to Halsema. Steven Rivas on deck. Wind still whipping out. Stay down a little bit, but it's still whipping out toward left field. The flagpole's here, just to the left of the scoreboard and video board in left center field. No balls, 1 strike. Lopez at second and the pitch. And Halsema flies this one toward right center. And a long run for Smith, but the right fielder in the gap into right center makes the catch after moving to his right. Tagging from second and going to third with a slide is Lopez. Halsema hitless in 2 tries now, so he flies out to right, 2 away. Runner at third. 2-0 Yolo, bottom of the fourth. And now Steven Rivas will come up. I was talking to the High Wheelers, Braden Blackford and Jose Gonzalez, before the game tonight. And here we are. Well, now obviously when I was talking to them, it was 2 full games into the series. Now we're almost 2.5 games into the series. And we've yet to see a home run by either team. That's the pitch to Rivas, who's got 23 of them this year. And if he homers here, folks, don't blame me, as he takes outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0 Yolo, bottom of the fourth. Rivas grounded to third base in the second inning. Big hole in right center. And Ferrer's pitch, and Rivas swings. High fly ball into right field. To his right, Smith. And he will be there to make the catch. All right, I'm off the hook. Well, anyway, Braden Blackford and Jose Gonzalez, both players who got a lot of power, each said to me, well, reason we haven't seen home runs yet in this series is the wind has been blowing in. It's been tough to get any sort of jet stream out. And the wind whipping out toward left. The wind's been as high as it is, if you will, as strong as it is, if you will, in this series so far tonight. But the first two games, Blackford and Gonzalez both said, just really haven't had much wind in this set. Leadoff double by Lopez, but nothing more other than him advancing to third. No runs, one hit, no errors, and a runner left. On to the fifth. 2-0, Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Moving on to the top half of the fifth inning, 2-0. The Yolo High Wheelers out in front of the Rocky Mountain Vibes. And the first pitch to Yolo's Angel Mendoza leading off, hit foul up along third, strike one. And the count moves, no balls and one strike. Will be Mendoza. And then the top of the Yolo order for the center fielder Skinner and then Marine, 9-1-2. So 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Yolo. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Rocky Mountain. Still have that rain flirting with the ballpark. I mean, it's, as I said, partly sunny and then partly very overcast. As Lomelli winds and the pitch, and that's taken outside, ball one. And the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike from Christian Lomelli, who delivers, and Mendoza swinging a miss at a breaking ball, strike 2. I said Christian Lomelli, Carlos Lomelli, I beg your pardon. I think I've said Christian a few times tonight. It's Carlos Lomelli. Christian Day is supposed to be starting later in this series for the Vibes, but Carlos Lomelli, who, again, the way the game's been flowing tonight, really haven't dived in a lot about Lomelli. Mentioned that this is his third outing against the High Wheelers this year. Lomelli was a 17th round pick by Pittsburgh in 2021. A wind-up in the pitch, and Mendoza chases that one way out of the strike zone and misses at strike 3. And he is out. Well, that's the first strikeout for Lomelli tonight, so 1 down. And now for the third time this evening, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. But Lomelli does have organized time in baseball with the Pirates. He has reached as high as the low A level with Bradenton. It's been really 2 full seasons with the Marauders down in West Florida, right along the Gulf of Mexico. Now the pitch on the way to Skinner, and that's a strike called on the inside corner from Carlos Lomelli, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Skinner, he's hitless in 2 tries. 2-0 Yolo, top of the 5th. The windup and the pitch, and that's hit on the ground towards second. A big hop for the second baseman in Yake, who from shallow right whirls around, throws toward the first baseman. Mize misses the ball. Now Skinner ran through the bag, but did not make a motion towards second base. If he had made a motion towards second, then he would have been out, but the first base umpire and crew chief, Cody Kernett, said that Braylon Skinner did not make any motion to move to second and just did the job running through the first base bag. So that'll be an infield single for Skinner. So he is now 1 for 3, and Skinner leads the team in steals. He's got 29 this year, so we'll see if he takes off. And now it's Braylon Marine who bats. He's 2 for 2, couple singles and a run scored. 2-0 Yolo. And the pitch to Marine, and he drives this one towards center. A long run for Austin Davis. He won't get there. The ball is off the wall. Billy Horton is going to hustle Skinner to the plate, and he will score. However, Marine is going to be out by a mile, trying to go to third. Dives in, and he is out. But it's a double and an RBI for Braylon Marine. A double to center, RBI for Marine. And it's 3-0 Yolo. So Skinner, he was going to score no matter what. I'll give Marine, as I said, a double and an RBI. And we'll get the put out for you later. So 2 out, nobody on, but it's now 3-0 Yolo. Here's Braden Blackford. And Lomelli's pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Blackford is 0 for 2 tonight. So Braylon Marine, mentioned, been in a bit of a drought of late coming into tonight. 1 hit in his last 15 at-bats, but he's 3 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a run scored. And the pitch on the way to Blackford, and that is outside, ball 2. So the count moves down to 2 balls and no strikes. So 3-0 Yolo. High Wheelers now with 6 hits on this very windy night. Now the wind really whipping out to the right side as Blackford takes, and that's a strike on the outside corner. So the count moves now to 2 balls and 1 strike from Lomelli, who played 4 seasons at St. Mary's, which included the pandemic year for 4 games, all as the start of that year. As the pitch to Blackford fouled to the screen, strike 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braden, who's hitless in 2 tries tonight. The kick and the pitch, and that's low and in, ball 3. And the count is now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Braylon Marine mentioned gets a credit for an RBI double. And the pitch, swinging a tapper foul up along first. And, well, as I said, we'll get the official ruling as it was a center fielder, Davis, and I believe it was either the second baseman, Yake, or the shortstop, Lopez, who then threw to the third baseman, McCabe. It wasn't Austin Davis all the way on throwing all the way in from the warning track to third. RBI for Braylon Marine is his 49th this year, so RBI double, and then he was out trying to go to third, but Skinner scored. So 3-0 Yolo. The kick and the 3-2 to Blackford, and that's fisted to shortstop. To his right, Lopez up with the ball, and he will throw on the Mize at first. And Blackford is out. A run, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. Halfway done, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Halfway done as we move on to the bottom half of inning number 5 tonight from Colorado Springs, Colorado. It is 3-0 Yolo. The play on Braylon Marine, the RBI double for him, and then he was out going 8-6-5 on the putout at third. The center fielder Davis, the shortstop Lopez, and the third baseman McCabe. So RBI double, 8-6-5. Now the first pitch to Schunard is hit to third base, grabbed by Travis Holt, moving to his left, and he'll throw across to Neiman at first. And Schunard is out, so just like that, 1 up and 1 down. Here in the 5th inning, 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for Yolo. No runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors for Rocky Mountain. So Schunard, Mize, and McCabe face Ben Ferrer. And this is a big inning right here in the sense of the fact that we could see some rain tonight. I know I've been saying that for a while. And now it's Mize who's 1 for 1. And the pitch is a strike called on the outside corner from Ferrer. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike, because you get through this inning, then it becomes an official game. Then it can rain all at once. But we've yet to see a drop here. That's the thing. It smells like rain. There's another lightning bolt I saw a moment ago. Swing here and a pop-up. Shallow center. And this could be fun on a windy night. And it's going to be the shortstop Marine, who goes far to his left. I mean, Braylon Marine, the shortstop, almost went all the way into right center, and he makes the catch. So Mize pops to shortstop. Good job there by Marine just to follow that ball. As I said, seems some lightning way out behind the right field wall here. So 2 down. And now it's Eddie McCabe who will come to the plate. McCabe, he is 0 for 1. He flied to center field in the 3rd inning. It is 3-0 Yolo, bottom half of the 5th. And Ferrer delivers, and McCabe takes, and that is low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. So again, Ferrer 2-0 this year against Rocky Mountain. 2 of his 5 wins have come against the Vibes. That 10 strikeout game Ferrer had on July 13th, that matches the most by a High Wheeler pitcher this year for strikeouts in one contest. As a pitch, fastball, strike 2 called on the outside, strike 1 called on the outside corner. 1-1. Ferrer and Dawson Lane hold the mark for most strikeouts in one game by a High Wheeler with 10. Lane has since been traded to Billings as the pitch on the way, and that's taken to the knees for a strike. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes with a 3-0 Yolo lead in the 5th. Bottom half of the 5th. Still, it's despite it being overcast, it's still daylight. I mean, it's not pitch dark here. But so certainly can see the lightning, and as I said, the overcast that just seems to be hovering all around here. And then on the other side, to my left, or the third base side of the stadium, you can see the sun out that way. Strange weather here in Colorado Springs. The 1-2 pitch, low ball 2, 2-2. 3-0 Yolo, bottom of the 5th, leading Rocky Mountain. But as I said, all the years that I used to come into Colorado Springs, it would occur all the time. You just have strange weather, real unpredictable here in the Rockies is the pitch, and that's low ball 3, 3-2. I mean, there are times where I remember the home team, let's say, takes batting practice from 4 to 5, be nice and sunny, and then right as the visiting team would be ready to take batting practice, I don't mean every time, but it seemed like it would happen often, then the rain comes. 3-2 pitch, and that's fly to right field. Smith to his right, and Tanner will be there to make the catch. So 5 innings are in the book, so this is now an official game. So if the heavens want to open up, let it do so now. Nothing across. We go on to the 6th. It is 3-0. Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. Moving along to the sixth inning, it is 3-0 Yolo. Jose Gonzalez leads it off, and the first pitch from Carlos Lomelli is outside, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Gonzalez, Neiman, and Smith. 4, 5, and 6 to face the bearded Lomelli. Long black hair on the back of his cap. And the pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2. I haven't talked about the uniforms tonight. Yolo in their regular road grays. Gray shirts, gray pants. Yolo in big black letters spelled across the front of the shirt. Black number on the back of the shirt, along with the black caps as Gonzalez fists one foul to the backstop. And the count remains at 0 balls and 2 strikes. 3-0 in favor of Yolo here in the sixth inning, the top of the sixth. Gonzalez an RBI single in the first. He's 1 for 2. The windup by Lomelli and the pitch, and that's high for a ball. And the count's at 1-2. But the uniforms tonight, special for Rocky Mountain. It is a military appreciation night here in Colorado Springs. So folks in the military getting a discount to come to the ballpark. As the pitch on the way to Jose is outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So patriotic-like uniforms, uniforms that you would see on the 4th of July. The windup and the pitch, and that swung on and golfed on one hop towards short. Grabbed by Lopez, throws the Mize at first, and Gonzalez is out. It looked like they say golf. Looks like a chip shot right there. So Jose is retired, 1 out. 3-0 Yolo. Top of the sixth inning. Yeah, the uniforms for Rocky Mountain tonight. Red, white, and blue striped across the front of the navy blue shirt that spell the word Vibes. Stars and stripes with the word Vibes that run through it. Now it's Neiman, who's been hit with a pitch twice, and he fouls one to the plate, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. And on the back of the shirt, you have emblems from various military services. So the Marines and the Army and Navy. And, of course, this being a military town, obviously, the Air Force recognized here. This is where the United States Air Force Academy is located. As Neiman flies this one toward the line in right and foul down by the Vibes bullpen. Count is at, I believe, 1 ball and 1 strike to Neiman. And then the number on the back of the shirt is designed in stars and stripes. And then red, white, and blue caps tonight for the Vibes with the white pants. So military appreciation night. Lomelli delivers, and Neiman swings and hits this ball deep in the hole at short, far to his right. Lopez long throw across, and the first baseman, Mize, has to jump up to grab that ball, and Eddie Neiman does it again. He has an infield single. That was a tough throw. I mean, Lopez did a good job just getting to the ball deep in the hole at short. He had to move far to his right and then had to reverse course and throw across his body to Mize, who comes off the bag. So give Neiman another hit, and for Eddie Neiman, now has, of his 15 starts this year, he has hits now in 14 of them. He's reached base safely. Of course, he'd already been hit with a pitch twice tonight, but he's reached base safely now in every game he has started for the High Wheelers. That's 15, and now hits in 16 of his 18 games. Now it's Tanner Smith who swings at a breaking ball and foul tips that one into the glove of the catcher, Minzy, strike 1. So no balls and 1 strike to count to Tanner. An RBI single to first. He's also hit into a double play. 3-0 Yolo. Top of the sixth inning. And Lomelli deals, and Smith takes, and that is low, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. But anyway, military appreciation night here this evening at UC Health Park. So as I said, similar kind of shirts you would see a team wear on the 4th of July or on Labor Day or Memorial Day. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And Lomelli deals, and Smith swings and hits this one to first. It's gloved by Mize. Goes to Lopez, the shortstop, who is able to maintain possession of the ball. That's a force at second, 3-6. I hesitate, and there's no argument from anybody from the Yellow side. The third base umpire, Brian Rose, standing out near second, said that the ball was muffed on the exchange between the bare right hand and the glove hand. So the out had already been registered, and then it was just the ball slipped out when he was exchanging, when Lopez, the shortstop, was exchanging the ball. So that goes as a force, 3-6 at second. Smith now 1 for 3. And here's Kirkland Banks, 3-0 Yolo. And throw to first, and out with a dive is Smith. He's been picked off. And that concludes the top of the 6th inning. 1-3 on the pickoff. The pitcher Lomelli to the first baseman Mize. 1 hit, nobody left after 5.5. 3-0 Yolo leads Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. On we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, a 3-0 Yolo lead over Rocky Mountain. Again tomorrow, back at it. We'll start the feed for you at about 5:30 Pacific time on YouTube Live. Scheduled starters tomorrow night for Yolo, right-hander Brendan Knoll, and for Rocky Mountain, left-hander Nick Powers. Top of the Rocky Mountain order for the 3rd time for the center fielder Austin Davis. Then it's Yake and Lopez. Davis 1 for 2 this evening, single to left in the 3rd inning. So Ben Ferrer, 5 shutout innings so far. And the right-hander from Alpharetta, Georgia, kicks and comes home. And Davis pushes a bunt out in front of the plate. Catcher Mendoza quickly up with it, throws to the first baseman Neiman, and Davis is out by a foot, if even that far, maybe half a foot. Good play there by the catcher, Angel Mendoza. That's one of those where the pitcher comes in, the catcher goes out. Sometimes you see both try to pick up the ball, and then nothing's accomplished there. And Angel, I guess, had to call off Ferrer saying, hey, I got it, and he did. So 2-3 on the put out at first base, 1 down. And now it's Yake who comes up to face Ferrer, who won his last start at home, and that was against Oakland on July 25th, 3-0. Yake swings, fly ball, left center field, and that's going to get down a base hit. Left fielder Gonzalez to his left, grabs the baseball in 1 hop. And Yake is now 1 for 3. And now Devin Lopez comes up. He's 1 for 1 with a double to right. 3-0 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain. Bottom of the 6th. So Ferrer's last start, again, July 25th at home against Oakland, 6 2/3 innings of obviously shutout ball with a 3-0 Yolo win. Been allowed 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 8. So now Lopez digs in. And Ferrer deals from the set, and Devin takes, and that's inside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Lopez with Mason Minzy on deck. So Yake, the runner at first base, 9 for 10 in steal attempts this year. Breaking ball, and that is taken for a strike on the inside corner. And that moves the count to Lopez to 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferrer, who, as I mentioned, 8th start, 16th outing overall this year. So, of course, most of you can figure out he's been in and out of the rotation. Started the year really as the long man out of the bullpen. I guess usually the long man is out of the bullpen. But anyway, start of the year as the long man. Then when J.C. Ariza got hurt in early June, then Ferrer hopped into the rotation. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch, and that is a strikeout on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3-0 Yolo leads Rocky Mountain. Bottom of the 6th inning. But Ferrer, as I mentioned, second year in this league. 1-1 last year with Glacier in 14 games. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Yake at first. And Ferrer delivers. And that's swung on and blooped right field. And that's going to get down a base hit. Touching second is Yake. He is on his way to third. And it's first and third with 1 out. So Lopez, after coming into the game in the 3rd inning to play shortstop in place of Josh Day, he is 2 for 2. And now the possible tying run comes up, and it's Mason Minzy. Mason is 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging, and he has fly to center. Now let's see the High Wheelers turn a double play tonight. This will be a good time for one. And, you know, it's important here because, you know, Minzy, even if Minzy extends the inning one way or another, and then you have a lot of power coming up over the next 2 batters with Halsema and Rivas. As the pitch on the way to Mason, swinging a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count's at 0 balls and 1 strike. There is action in the Vibes bullpen down the right field line. Not as easy to read the numbers tonight, which in different kind of uniform with the stars and stripes numbers. Middle infield looking to turn 2, the 0-1, and Minzy chops this one foul up along first, and that's strike 2. And the count moves now to 0 balls and 2 strikes from the 24-year-old, and Ben Ferrer takes the baseball and gives it a squeeze, steps over toward the first base side of the mound before he plants his right foot back in, staring in at the catcher Mendoza. So Yake's at third, Lopez is at first, Yolo 3, Rocky Mountain nothing. Bottom of the 6th, the pitch, and Minzy takes outside for a ball. And the count to Mason is at a ball and 2 strikes. Now 1-2 the count. Ferrer kicks, comes home. Minzy swings, lines one to center field. Skinner's there to make the catch. Tagging from third is Yake. He's on his way home, and he will score with a slide. Throw cut off by the first baseman, Neiman, back of the mound. So Minzy, sacrifice fly, run batted in. Lopez holds at first. And it's now 3-1. The High Wheelers lead it. And now the tying run will resume at the plate, but now it's Halsema who digs in. You heard me mention Ferrer, 6 2/3 innings of shutout ball last game, and 5 1/3 innings tonight. By the way, the High Wheelers just appealed to third base, seeing if Yake left early, but the plate umpire, Elliot Sparks, on the appeal said that the runner did leave in time. The runner Yake did leave in time. So Billy Horton out to have a discussion with the plate umpire about that. Well, anyway, Ferrer, that snaps his streak of consecutive innings pitched without allowing a run, which ends at 12 innings. So now it's Halsema, and he takes a breaking ball, low ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So nice stretch, though, by Ferrer from the last couple of games, encompassing 12 innings without allowing a run until now, as Halsema takes, and that's low ball 2, 2-0. And Halsema got to be careful here. He's got some power. 0 for 2 tonight. Lopez at first base. Good job, by the way, on that sac fly by the High Wheelers, and a good job by Neiman It's little things that, the old expression that don't show up in a box score. Good job by the center fielder, Skinner. He knew that he wasn't going to get Yake, so he kept the throw low. The first baseman, Neiman, came in, took the cut, because if that throw comes all the way through to the plate, then not only did the run score, but Lopez would have moved up to second. That would have obviously put him in a better position to score, and obviously there would have eliminated any chance of a force play. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch to Halsema, and he chops this ball toward third to his left. Holt up with the baseballs. Throw to first, good pick by Neiman. And out at first base is Halsema. Tell you what, Eddie Neiman played a good first base in that inning right there. He came in, did his job as the cutoff guy to keep Lopez at first, and did a nice pick right there. So Halsema 0 for 3, and the Vibes settled for only 1 run in the 6th inning. So 1 run, 2 hits. There were no errors. And a man left. We go to the 7th. Rocky Mountain will have a new pitcher when we get back. 3-1, Yolo out in front on YouTube Live. On we go to the top half of the 7th inning. It is 3-1 in favor of the Yolo High Wheelers. Nick McClanahan is the new pitcher. Pitched the first game of the series, 6'2", 164 pounds. 24 years old, and the first pitch to Kirkland Banks is outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, and Banks broken bat, looper, back a second, leaping catch out in shallow center by the second baseman Yake, and Banks is out. One away. So Banks, Holt, and Mendoza, bottom third of the Yolo order to face McClanahan, who played primarily at Franklin College, Division III school near Indianapolis. So 1 down. In the 7th inning, the top of the 7th. Now it's Holt. He's 0 for 2. And McClanahan, who, again, doesn't go really low 3/4, just sort of slings it across the plate. Pours in a strike on the outside corner. And the count is no balls and 1 strike to Holt. Just about complete darkness now. Again, it's an official game as Holt swings and flies this one toward right field. Rivas back, and he'll have room in front of the track moving to his right to make the catch. And Holt is retired quickly, 2 down. Top half of the 7th inning. The score is 3-1, Yolo. And now it's the catcher, Angel Mendoza. Carlos Lomelli tonight for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs all earned. No walks, struck out 1, offered 2 wild pitches, and a hit batter. So now it's Mendoza. He is 0 for 2. So he comes up against McClanahan, top of the 7th. And the pitch on the way to Mendoza, and that is inside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. McClanahan, just his 6th appearance as a professional. No wins, no losses. ERA at 1.5. 7 strikeouts over his first 6 innings as he deals, and that's taken for a strike on the outer half. Count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-7-0 for Yolo. 1-5-2 for Rocky Mountain. As Mendoza looks, and that is outside ball 2. So the count moves now to 2 balls and 1 strike from Nick McClanahan out of Union, Kentucky, as he delivers, and that's swung on and hit back at first. That's a foul ball. So the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. To find out where Union, Kentucky is. I admit, folks, I am cheating here to find out where Union, Kentucky is. All right, we have a verdict here, and it's 17 miles just southwest of Cincinnati, so it's just over the Ohio River. So it's pretty much greater Cincinnati. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, and Mendoza looks at strike 3 on the inside corner. Breaking pitch there gets him. And he is down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. 1 swinging, now looking. And a perfect 7th with a strikeout for McClanahan. Nothing across. Stretch time from Colorado Springs on this Thursday night. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It stays 3-1. Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. On we go to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time from the Rocky Mountain State. It is a 3-1 lead for the Yolo High Wheelers over the Rocky Mountain Vibes. And Ben Ferrer set for inning number 7. And Steven Rivas to lead it off. Rivas, Schunard, and Mize 6, 7, and 8 to face Ferrer, whose streak of 12 straight innings came to an end on that sac fly by Minzy in the 6th inning. The first pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Rivas is 0 for 2 tonight. And Ferrer kicks and delivers, and Rivas takes that as outside for a ball. So the count moves now to 2 balls and no strikes. You know, I was talking earlier about Yolo, and, you know, it's all-star selections. Shortstop Raylan Marine, pitcher Cameron Rapetti, each on the 2nd team, all-star team. Pioneer League as Rivas is swinging a miss and a high fastball, strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So, unless I am not reading this properly, Steven Rivas did not make either team. As the pitch on the way is high for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Now, how do you have, and I realize the votes were in last Friday, and then it was announced today. And Rivas had a big series at Grand Junction last weekend. He had 4 home runs in that series. So obviously adding to his homer and RBI total, but I mean, he's still been at near the top of both those categories all year. The kick of the 2-2. And Rivas swings, and he flies this one to right. Tanner Smith twisting and turning and misread that ball. Goes over his head, one hop to the wall, and Rivas is into second with a leadoff double as Smith probably was a catchable ball. And it is complete darkness right now, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it's a leadoff double for Rivas. He is 1 for 3. Action in the Yolo left field bullpen. And now it's Austin Schunard who comes up. But, I mean, Steven Rivas has had great numbers all season. And how he was left off both teams. As now Schunard comes up. He is 0 for 2. And the pitch, and that's in the dirt ball, 1-1. All right, folks, I made a mistake here. I was looking at the outfielders who were selected because Rivas does play right field. He's not a regular DH. I mean, he plays right field every game. I mean, just about every game. I'm not saying he hasn't DH'd maybe once in a while, but he's not your typical DH. He was named as the DH for one of those teams. So I apologize. I was looking at the outfielders. Pitch on the way, and that's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. So that's good that he was named to one of the teams. He was named to the second team, but did get on. Okay. There we go. So congratulations to him. Schunard is 0 for 2. 3-1 Yolo. Bottom of the 7th on this breezy night. Ben Ferrer's pitch, and that's hit towards second base. And the ball knocked down by Banks. Picks it up, throws to first, and still in time to get Schunard. Well, it's a good thing that Schunard, who is mostly a catcher, doesn't have the fastest wheels. And Banks made a sliding stop, and the ball went off his glove, but he recovered, moving to his left, and from the lip of the outfield grass, still threw to Neiman at first in time. So Schunard moves Rivas to third with a 1 out, and now it's Carter Mines who comes up. Anyways, all right, so Rivas is the DH on the second team. There you go. Yeah, that would have been a total injustice there. All right, now it's Mize who's 1 for 2. And he's the possible tying run, 3-1 Yolo. And Mize pop-up foul left side strike, 1-1. We'll go over those names. If we don't get them tonight, we'll get them tomorrow. I know it was announced earlier today. And certainly I've covered the 2 Yolo representatives on the second team. And Cameron Petty, the pitcher, and shortstop Raylan Marine. The 0-1 on the way to Mize, and that's tapped foul up along first strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Chris Englund is getting loose down the left field side for Yolo. It's Yolo 3, Rocky Mountain 1. Bottom of the 7th. Infield is back. They'll exchange a run for an out here. As Ferrer from the set kicks and deals. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Strike 3. And Mize is out. So good pitch there by Ferrer. Kept it away from Mize. So out number 2. And that is the 3rd strikeout for Ben Ferrer. And now it's the third baseman, Eddie McCabe, who comes up. Vibes, who were named to the team, I just mentioned Steven Rivas, all second team designated hitter. Kyle Pajasic, who was just traded from Rocky Mountain to Oakland, so he's now a member of the Ballers, but he was named to the second team bullpen staff. Now it's McCabe, and he fouls into the backstop, strike 1. 0-1 the count. Trevor Halsema, second team outfielder. Of course, 99.9% of the work done with Halsema was as a baller, but he's now with Rocky Mountain. It was Halsema who was part of the trade that sent Pajasic over to Oakland. And second baseman Josh Day named to the first team All-Pioneer League team. The Rocky Mountain second baseman / shortstop as McCabe takes low from Ferrer. Ball 1, and the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So congratulations to everybody. And again, we haven't gone over all the names. We'll get to them eventually, either tonight or tomorrow. But named to the first or second team Pioneer League squads. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to McCabe. He's 0 for 2. 3-1 Yolo. And of course, McCabe is the possible tying run. Bottom of the 7th inning, Ferrer's pitch from the set. McCabe swings and drives one to center. Skinner back, and he makes the line drive catch. So Ferrer works around a leadoff double. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left. We go to the 8th, 3-1. Yolo leading Rocky Mountain on YouTube Live. On to the 8th inning, and Yolo clinging to a 3-1 lead over Rocky Mountain. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Third Rocky Mountain pitcher, and it's the left-hander we saw here on Tuesday night, P.J. Labriola, out of Bradenton, Florida, 6'7", 223 pounds, and he is 23 years old. Nick McClanahan tonight for Rocky Mountain, 1 perfect inning with a strikeout. So Labriola, mentioned the other night, a guy who played college baseball at both Clemson and North Carolina State. It comes on to do the pitching here in the 8th. Top of the Yolo order for the 4th time. It's a center fielder, Braylon Skinner. Then it's Marine and Blackford. And the pitch on the way, and that's line foul left side, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Yolo. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for Rocky Mountain. Skinner an infield single and a run scored in the 5th inning. Outfield well around to the left, big hole in right center as Labriola, third base side of the rubber, kicks and comes home, and Skinner takes, and that's high ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the wind still really whipping out toward left field. The American flag, the Colorado flag, both on the top of their poles to the left of the video board and the scoreboard. Big hole out in right center field. So 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Third baseman McCabe even with the bag as Labriola delivers, and that's popped up foul left side, strike 2. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Braylon Skinner. 1 and 2 the count. Obviously, the Highwheelers like another run or 2 right here. 3-1 Yolo lead, and the pitch, and Skinner takes, and that's inside from Labriola, ball 2. The count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Labriola, his 4th game with the Vibes. No wins, no losses, ERA of 9 even. He's given up 3 runs through 3 innings. As Skinner fouls this one at the plate. And the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Labriola among many of the newcomers to the Vibes since we have last seen Rocky Mountain. balls, 2 strikes the count. Wind again ripping up here, but feels very refreshing. And the pitch, and Skinner swings, ground ball past the diving third baseman McCabe, and in the left field a base hit as the left fielder hauls him and gets the ball in towards second. So Skinner now 2 for 4, and again have to watch his speed with a team high 29 steals this year. And now it's Marine, who is 3 for 3, 2 singles, an RBI double, and a run scored. So we'll see if Skinner takes off. Maybe a hit and run right here with Braylon Marine at the plate. Outfield around to the left and the pitch, and Braylon takes a breaking ball, and that is low outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Which Marine 3 hits this evening. Has a 5-hit game this year. That was June 18th at home against Oakland. As he takes, and that is outside, ball 2. So the count now at 2 balls and no strikes. A 2-0 the count. Skinner at first, being held on by Mize. Yolo 3. Rocky Mountain 1. And the pitch from Labriola. And that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 1 strike to Braylon Marine. Well, Braylon is right back in there after missing last night's game with a hand issue. The pitch on the way, big swing and a miss, strike 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Marine. 2-2 the count with Blackford on deck. 3-1 Yolo. Top half of the 8th inning. There goes Skinner. The pitch to Marine. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So he is out for the first time tonight, but no throw down to second from the catcher Minzy. First strikeout for Labriola. Skinner, that's his now team high 30th stolen base this year. So they do get the runner to second base with 1 out. 3-1 Yolo. Now Braden Blackford comes up, and he is 0 for 3 tonight. So Skinner with his 30th steal. He's just the second player in the Pioneer League with 30 steals now this year, with at least 30. The league leader in steals this year is with Billings, and that's Brendan Ryan, who's got 38 steals. So now it's Blackford, the DH, and Labriola's pitch, breaking ball, taken for a strike on the inside corner. And the count moves to no balls and 1 strike. They say this wind, I mean, I haven't felt this cool a breeze probably since March. I mean, it is, I have to say, yeah, it might be annoying for the fans. It's nice though up here. Blackford a swing and a miss at a breaking ball, quickly strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. You don't really get this kind of breeze in Davis. Window is open here in my booth. Feels very, very comfortable. And as they said, the rain, we're going to get some rain, and who knows, we still could, but it's not shown up yet. The 0-2 pitch, and that's low, ball 1 to Blackford. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So again, Braylon Skinner now with 30 steals this year. The other man with 29 steals coming into tonight, playing in this game, is Austin Davis of Rocky Mountain. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez is on deck. And the pitch, and Blackford goes around to the curve and comes up empty, strike 3. And he is down on strikes. So back-to-back strikeouts now for Labriola, 2 down. And now Jose Gonzalez will come to the plate. So not in the lineup tonight, Alejandro Figueiredo. He just gets the night off. Normally we see him at first base. Backup catcher and Edwin De La Cruz, who caught here on Tuesday. He's not in the lineup tonight. Now the pitch on the way to Gonzalez. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1-0-1. And David Glancy, who has started in this series a couple of times in the outfield, he is not in the lineup. So those are the 3 bench players this evening for Yolo. Gonzalez got the scoring started with an RBI single in the first inning. It's 3-1 Yolo. And now Labriola will use his first disengagement as he steps off the rubber. Skinner, the runner at second base. Shortstop Lopez playing right behind him. Outfield around to the left, big hole in right center. No ball, 1 strike pitch. And that is low and in for a ball. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike. So Gonzalez trying for some two-out magic here in the 8th inning. 3-1 High Wheelers in the pitch, and that's inside ball 2 from Labriola. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Labriola, we mentioned this the other night, began his college career at Clemson and then transferred to North Carolina State, transferred within the Atlantic Coast Conference. As the pitch to Gonzalez, and that's driven toward right center. That's going to get down, a base hit. Skinner will round third, and he will score, and Gonzalez is going to hustle all the way to second with a dive. He has an RBI double, and the High Wheelers, big run right there, lead it now 4-2 here on the top of the 8th inning. So Jose Gonzalez, his second run-producing hit tonight. RBI for Jose is his 54th. And I mentioned one other name I stupidly didn't mention. Of course, not in the lineup tonight, Bobby Leday, who we normally see every day at second base. Leday not in the lineup. So I knew I was missing somebody. It's only been a guy who's been here all year and has been one of the most productive players in the league. Anyway, Gonzalez has been too, and now has a team-high 54 runs batted in. So the Yolo High Wheelers now grab a 4-2 lead, 4-1 lead, I should say, here in the top of the 8th inning. 4-1 now Yolo. And now Eddie Neiman will come up. So big town hit by Gonzalez, now 2 for 4 tonight. Pitching coach Mark Goodman now to discuss matters with P.J. Labriola with the Cardinal Mooney High School, Cardinal Mooney Catholic High School in Bradenton, Florida. Boy, the wind is now really whipping up a lot of dirt right in front of the dugout, the first base Vibes dugout. First pitch on the way to Neiman is outside ball 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes the count. To Neiman, who's 1 for 1. He's been hit with a pitch twice, and he swings and misses at a fastball down and in strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And Labriola played the COVID-shortened season. That was his freshman year at Clemson, and then played what you consider more regular seasons with the Tigers, with 2 years with Clemson in the pitch, and that's up and away for a ball. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. And then last 2 years, 23, and then this past March, both with North Carolina State. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. 4-1 Yolo. Gonzalez at second, and Neiman goes down for that breaking ball and misses at strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. With the right fielder Tanner Smith on deck. So 4 runs. Now 8 hits. Actually 9 hits for Yolo. Again, the scoreboard here does not seem to be in any hurry to. You forget the balls and strikes for a moment. They just don't really update the score much. Neiman swings, pulls this one there, pokes this one to second base, grabbed by Yake, and he'll throw to Mize at first. And Neiman is retired for the first time tonight. Skinner started with a single, a stolen base, and then Gonzalez the RBI double, 4th time through the High Wheelers order now. So 1 run for Yolo. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Yolo will have a new pitcher when we get back with the score. Yolo 4 and Rocky Mountain 1 on YouTube Live. Jack Zalaski is the new Yolo pitcher. We move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It is Yolo 4 and Rocky Mountain 1. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. So another good outing for Ben Ferrer, who had won his last 2 outings, and hopefully for Ferrer that'll extend through tonight. Top of the Rocky Mountain order for the 4th time, it's Austin Davis. And he swings the first pitch from Zalaski. A tapper in the grass toward third. Charged by Holt. Throws to Neiman, and the ball gets very, very far past him. All the way into the Rocky Mountain dugout. Davis with good speed on his way to third. And the throw from the right fielder, Smith, not nearly in time. Ball backed up caught on one hop by the third baseman in Holt, who was able to get back. So Austin Davis is aboard. And just like that, runner at third with nobody out, 4-1 Yolo. Bottom of the 8th, the throw by Holt, that was nowhere near Neiman. Eddie did his best to try and get to that one. And the ball went way into the Rocky Mountain bullpen, which is in play. Obviously it's in foul territory, but any ball that gets down that direction is in play. It'll be an infield single for Austin Davis, throwing error on the third baseman Holt. So hit plus 2-base error. Infield single E5. First error for Yolo tonight. Runner at third, nobody out. Davis now 2 for 4. And now it's Ernie Yake who comes up. So Ben Ferrer tonight for Yolo, 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run earned. No walks. Struck out 3. And now Zalaski on for the 2nd time in this series. And now it's Yake, and he swings and misses at a changeup 0-1. Well, that run at the top of the 8th was big. Obviously, it's nothing Yake can do to tie the game. Yake has scored the only Rocky Mountain run tonight, so he is 0 for 1. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. Zalaski kicks and delivers, and Yake pokes this one in the air foul left side. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes the count from Jack Zalaski, who came into the ball game early here the other night. He came in the 5th inning. Normally doesn't come in until around the 7th or 8th. And the 0-2 pitch, and Yake swings and pokes this one to right. Tanner Smith is there to make the catch. Tagging from third is Davis, and he will score standing up. So both Rocky Mountain runs tonight have been on a sacrifice fly. It's now 4-2 Yolo, but again the High Wheelers will exchange the run for the out. So 1 out, nobody on. Now a 2-run Yolo lead at 4-2. And now Devin Lopez will come up. Now, Zalaski, reason why he was in the 5th inning the other night, at the time it was a 1-run Yolo lead. As the pitch on the way, as the strike on the outside corner, 1-1. There's actually a 2-run Yolo lead at the time when he came in the other night. He came in when it was 10-8 in the 5th. As the pitch to Lopez, and that's fly toward right center. And to his right, Tanner Smith, and the right fielder will get there to make the catch. 2 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Yolo 4, Rocky Mountain 2. And now Mason Minzy will dig in. He is 0 for 2 with a sac fly. And I talked to Yolo pitching coach Jerome Williams about that. I said, Zalaski was in pretty early. He said, well, he was, but it was a close game, and the bullpen had been already exhausted early in that game with Reed Garland having to go 2 2/3 innings. And situation really called upon Zalaski. Remember, some of the other pitchers might not have been available that game either, so that's why Zalaski was in early. Now back to his more normal 8th inning roll. First pitch to Minzy, inside ball 1. Next pitch from Zalaski. And that's a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 from Zalaski, who is 23 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Elk Grove. Great pants up to his knees for Zalaski, who has 5 wins this year. As Minzy, his former battery mate, takes low and in ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Zalaski's record, 5-1, 4.44 ERA. Team high 25th appearance, all out of the bullpen. The 2-1. And that's inside, but Yolo's going to challenge that. I don't think we've had a challenge on either side yet. So the plate umpire, Elliott Sparks, will await the ruling here. And the call's been confirmed to ball 3, so 3-1 the count. Well, again, you have Minzy at the plate, and if he reaches, then you got the powerful Halsema on deck, and if Halsema bats in this inning, he'll represent the tying run. Outfield medium depth straight away, the 3-1 pitch, and Minzy swings and grounds this ball to shortstop, booted by Marine for a second, but time to recover with his bare right hand and throws to Neiman at first, and Minzy is out. And Halsema will have to bat next inning with his team being at least down by 2 runs. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody stranded. We go to the 9th. It is 4-2. Yolo leading Rocky Mountain. The Vibes will have a new pitcher when we get back on YouTube Live. We go to the 9th inning, and it's Yolo 4 and Rocky Mountain 2. And we are going to see the first professional outing of pitcher John Solfest. Capital S-O-L-F-E-S-T. 6'1", 200 pounds, 23 years old, from Shoreview, Minnesota. And the first batter he ever faces professionally is Tanner Smith. And Tanner takes low ball 1-0. Smith, Banks, and Holt 6, 7, and 8 to face Solfest, who delivers, and Smith takes, and that is low ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. P.J. Labriola tonight for Rocky Mountain. 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run earned, no walks, and he struck out 2. So Solfest, who played his college baseball at Bethel in St. Paul, Minnesota, the Bethel Royals, members of the Minnesota Intercollegiate Conference. I'm sure many of you follow that conference closely as Smith takes outside ball 3. And the count's now at 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch on the way, and Tanner takes. That's inside ball 4, a 4-pitch walk offered by Solfest, who spent 3 years at Bethel. And now it's Banks, who is 0 for 3. Well, Bethel had a pretty good team this past, I don't know if it was this past year, recently. One of the years, it was 2022. One of the years that Solfest was there, they were 35-11. Solfest 13 games, 11 as a starter, a 6-5 record this past season for Bethel. Now it's Banks who shows bunt and goes around strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Bethel still good this year, 25-17. It was the St. Olaf College who won that league. Yeah, I don't really follow the Minnesota Intercollegiate Conference all that closely, as Banks shows bunt with the third baseman McCabe charging and takes outside ball one. Well, the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count. Banks has reached on an error tonight. Lead at first base by Smith. Good speed. Solfest throw to first. Mize there to take it, and Smith back safely with a dive. But yeah, Solfest just a few days ago signed to his first pro contract. Big hole out in right center field. And the pitch, and that's poked foul right side. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Solfest was a pitcher and an infielder at Bethel University, which I believe is a Division III school in St. Paul. Outfield medium depth straight away, and the 1-2, and that's low in the dirt. And now seeing that, taken off for second is Smith, and he'll go into second with a slide. So that is a wild pitch. A wild pitch because he moved after the ball was in the dirt. So runner at second now. They say Bethel College, really Bethel University. There's a Bethel College in Kansas. Solfest went to Bethel University in Minnesota. Pitch on the way to Banks, and he pops this one up over toward the Rocky Mountain dugout, and the ball lands in the dugout. Now holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Bethel University is a Division III school in St. Paul. So there you go. I'm sure many of you were wondering it. Holt waits on deck. It is 4-2 Yolo leading Rocky Mountain. We are in the 9th inning, the top half of the 9th. Outfield medium depth and straight away. And the pitch, and that swung on, tap foul. So tap foul third base side. So important at bat for Banks right here to at least get Smith over to third base with less than 2 out. Yolo 4 and Rocky Mountain 2. And the pitch upcoming, and that swung on. And a high chopper to short. That'll do the job. Charged by the shortstop Lopez. Is throw to first out of time. And Banks is safe. So not only would he would have moved Smith to third regardless, but now instead of 1 out, it's still nobody out, and runners at the corners in the top half of the 9th inning. 4-2 Yolo. 10th hit now for the High Wheelers. And the first base umpire was standing, Cody Kernut. He wasn't standing where the first base umpire normally would with a runner at second. So he had a longer view to look at that. And now the manager of Rocky Mountain, Les Lancaster, is going to go out and ask the umpires to meet. And there wasn't much of a discussion. I mean, Cody Kernut said, well, my partners say safe. I said safe, and that's that. So now it's Travis Holt, and this will be a good spot for Holt's first Yolo hit. I don't mean just tonight, but overall, Holt 0 for his first 12 as a member of the High Wheelers. He's 0 for 3 tonight. 4-2 Yolo. Top half of the 9th inning. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. And Solfest delivers on a breaking ball, and that's taken low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 the count. Holt. Mention Solfest from River View, from Shoreview, Minnesota, as Holt, who grew up near Miami, checks his swing and taps one foul at the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike. That's Shoreview is part of the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, just really more of a suburb just north of St. Paul. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Smith at third, Banks at first. A 4-2 Yolo lead, top of the ninth, and the pitch, and Holt swings, and he flies one toward left, should be deep enough to do the job. Hauls him and backs up to make the catch. Tagging from third is Smith, he will score. So a big sac fly right there by Travis Holt. Makes it now 5-2 Yolo, so the High Wheelers get the run right back. Give Holt an RBI. And now looks like we're going to see a pinch hitter for Mendoza. It's going to be Alejandro Figueiredo. And then I'd have to think that Mendoza will come right back in the game to catch in the bottom half of the ninth inning. So Figueiredo will pinch hit here in the top half of the ninth. So 5-2. Yolo leads it. By the way, Holt, that is his first RBI as a member of the High Wheelers. Holt did have 18 RBIs this year with Billings. So it's his 19th overall RBI this year, his first with Yolo. Now it's Figueiredo. Pinch hits at .369, a homer and 13 RBIs. Those are his Yolo numbers, as opposed to his overall totals, which he also accumulated with Billings, as he takes outside ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes the count to Figueiredo. So Banks, the runner at first base. Banks 8 steals. He's been caught twice. Mize holds him on. And Figueiredo a swing and a miss at a high fastball. And that is a strike, and the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 5-2 Yolo, top of the ninth inning. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Alejandro Figueiredo. 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. Has a hit in each of the first 2 games of this series. As the pitch on the way from Solfest, and that's popped up foul right side, strike 2. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Figueiredo 2 hits in his last 12 at-bats. Recently had a 10-game hitting streak snapped July 26th at Oakland. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The lead is 5-2 Yolo here in the ninth inning, the top half of the ninth. Still have yet to see any rain tonight. I find that rather miraculous. As there goes Banks. Figueiredo takes all the way to the backstop. Catcher Minzy has to run to grab the ball near the screen with his bare right hand. Since Banks was off on the pitch, he'll get credit for a stolen base. So he is now at second. Meanwhile, the count is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stolen base for Kirkland Banks is his 9th this year in 11 tries. So the count is now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alejandro Figueiredo. And the pitch to Figueiredo, and that's popped up. Third base side of the diamond, and it's going to be the catcher Minzy to make the catch in foul territory. Figueiredo, the batter, and understandably, when he first hit that ball, looked like it was going to go a little further, but remember, it is a windy night, and then Minzy, the catcher, stood almost side by side with Figueiredo, who made the catch. I don't think Alejandro saw where the ball was. No need for any sort of interference call since the catch was made. But anyway, Figueiredo is out, so he and that again was ruled a foul pop-up by the plate umpire, Elliott Sparks. So Figueiredo fouls out to the catcher Minzy. So 2 out, and now for the 5th time tonight, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. And he takes low inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Braylon is 2 for 4, a couple of singles, couple of runs scored, and a stolen base. Outfield medium depth and straight away. So Banks still at second. 5-2 Yolo, top of the ninth. Solfest deals and a breaking ball. Like a change up there. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Get to get a crowd count. I have to go up between innings to try and get a crowd count. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. And the pitch, and that swung on, slapped to shortstop, and it skips past Lopez. The ball goes into center field. Rounding third is Banks. He will score, and that's a big tack-on run right there. Now 6-2 in favor of Yolo. That'll go as a hit. That was one of those where it eats the shortstop up. So Skinner has a 3-hit night. Well, 3 hit singles. RBI for Skinner's his 36th. So, much like the other night, Yolo had 2 runs in the ninth to have a little padding, 2 here in the ninth. And now it's Braylon Marine who Flies one high to left field. Halsema is there, and the left fielder, he's got it. And that concludes the ninth. But the leadoff walk leads to 2 Yolo runs, so 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors. And a runner left. Last chance for Rocky Mountain. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning with the score. Yolo 6 and Rocky Mountain 2. Ty Buckner will come on to do the pitching for Yolo when we get back on YouTube Live. Last chance for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 6-2. The Yolo High Wheelers out in front, and Ty Buckner comes on to do the pitching. Jack Zalaski for Yolo tonight worked 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, which was not earned. No walks and no strikeouts. So Zalaski, he's got quite a streak going. For Jack, now 8 straight outings where he has not allowed an earned run. That's a total of 8 2/3 innings in that span. So now Buckner, it's been a while since Ty has pitched. And Trevor Halsema to lead it off. And Buckner delivers, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Buckner has not pitched in about a week, since July 25th against Oakland. He hasn't pitched since, last Thursday. As Halsema chops this one to third. Playing back on the ball is Holt, and he will throw across to the first baseman and Neiman. And Halsema is retired, 1 down. So Halsema, Rivas, and Schunard. And now Rivas bats. By the way, Angel Mendoza, who had been lifted for a pinch hitter, and Figueredo Mendoza comes right back into the ball game to do the catching. So 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. And Buckner out of the windup, and the pitch on the way to Rivas. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. No balls and a strike. The numbers for Ty Buckner this year: no wins, 1 loss, 3.15 ERA. 20th appearance all out of the bullpen. He does have a team-high 7 saves. As the pitch to Ty is outside for a ball. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield well around to the left as Buckner kicks and delivers, and that's popped up foul left side, strike 2. And the count moves down to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Buckner, 25 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds, grew up in St. Louis. Talked to Ty about that the other night. And much of his life has been in that area, except his graduate year of baseball, which was at Gonzaga. The 1-2 pitch, and that's popped up foul left side. The count holds it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, where Buckner pitched his primary place in college, where he pitched, was at Missouri State in Springfield, where the Bears, the Missouri Valley Conference, play their home games at the AA Stadium, where the Springfield Cardinals, the Texas League, play. The kick in the 1-2, and that's looped in the right field. A base hit for Rivas. Rivas has his second hit tonight as the right fielder Smith gets the ball in towards second. 6-2 Yolo, bottom of the ninth inning. 1 out, 1 on. And now Austin Schunard comes up. And I asked him what it was like to pitch at that ballpark. I mean, what it was like to play college baseball in a professional baseball stadium. And it's a beautiful stadium in Springfield. I've never been there for a game, but I have seen the ballpark. I've taken a tour of it. And he says, beautiful ballpark, no doubt about it. But he says it's not great for pitchers. He says there's a lot of carry to the ball there. Now it's Schunard, and he takes a strike on the outside corner from Buckner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. Buckner, four-seam fastball, slider, cutter, and a changeup. And the pitch here, and that's inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. I was talking about Ty, that he was, he'd been warming up. And, we got 7 saves this year, as I mentioned, to lead the High Wheelers. And as he was warming up, as the High Wheelers were up 4-2, going to the 9th inning, and probably thought, well, I'd be on for a save tonight. As it turns out, not a safe situation. Swing here and a foul to the backstop, strike 2, 1-2. And I don't think Ty minds. I mean, I don't think any pitcher's going to complain working with a 4-run lead. And I think most would rather work with a 4-run lead than a 2-run lead. But I think mentally you gear up and think, all right, well, it's going to be save time in a few minutes. And as it turns out, it's not going to be a save for Buckner, regardless of what happens here. The 1-2 pitch popped up foul right side, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But Buckner, 7 saves, which is second most in the Pioneer League. He's tied for second. Dutch Landis of Northern Colorado. He leads the Pioneer League with 8 saves. Buckner was at State College last year in the Draft League. Comes set. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch with Rivas at first, and that's fouled to the backstop by Schunard. And the counter remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. But I've talked to Buckner about this kind of situation before. I said, what's it like where you come in or you start warming up and you're mentally thinking, okay, I'm going to get a save. Then when you actually take the mound, it's no longer a safe situation. The 1-2 here, and that's fisted again, foul to the screen. 1-2. I mean, his comment to me was, doesn't really matter. I mean, your job is to close out the game no matter what the lead is. I don't think he's going to come in, or any pitcher's going to come in and pout and say, well, no, there goes a save opportunity for me. Darn it. I'm now pitching with a 6-run lead. I hate that. But anyway, Buckner has a 4-run lead right now. 6-2 Yolo. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the ninth. The kick and the pitch. Another foul to the backstop. So Schunard hanging in there at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Buckner ought to be able to, well, I guess no matter what, this is going to be the final inning. Obviously, because we don't go extra innings in the Pioneer League. But as I said, Buckner hasn't pitched since last Thursday, so he's had plenty of rest. Time with that blonde handlebar mustache comes set. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Rivas at first, being held on by Neiman, and the pitch. Another pop-up foul right side by Schunard. And the count holding it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Schunard went to an NAIA school in Arizona, making Buckner work. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. And that's low and in, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. With Yolo up 6-2 here in the bottom half of the ninth inning, and the pitch Schunard takes, and that's inside, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to see how many foul balls. I don't really keep track of that, but he fouled off about a handful in a row. So 2-2 the count. Rivas at first. Neiman holds him there, and the pitch. Schunard swings, a line drive to center field, and a sliding effort by the center fielder. Skinner cannot catch it. Looked like he slipped more than he slid. Ball falls in front of him, and up to second goes Rivas. And Schoenhardt, out of all of that, has a single to center. Back-to-back one-out hits now for the Vibes. We're in the bottom of the ninth inning and a 6-2 Yolo lead. Throw eventually went in from the center fielder Skinner to the second base bag. Now it's Carter Mize who comes up. And now if Mize gets on, then McCabe on deck represents the possible tying run. Mize is 1 for 3 tonight. Outfield medium depth and straight away. So those runs looking pretty big that the High Wheelers had on the top of the setting as Mize hits one foul up along first. Strike one, no balls and a strike. I wonder if these two know one another, both from the St. Louis area originally, Buckner and Mize. Mize, who played his college baseball in Missouri, played in the Czech Republic. I forgot. We talked about this the other night and don't have it in the game notes where he played his college ball. Missouri Baptist. All right, I found it. So no balls and a strike. And the pitch. And that is inside into the backstop. I think that ball might have gone off the glove of the catcher Mendoza. The runners move up. They're going to call that a pass ball. Yeah, I mean, the ball did hit off the glove of the catcher Mendoza. That wasn't one of those, the pitch wasn't in the dirt. It didn't go all the way to the backstop. I mean, it was inside, but Mendoza did get a glove on it. I think that was a catchable ball for him. So Rivas goes to third on the passed ball. Schoenhardt moves up to second base. So it's second and third now with one out. That takes away any hope of a forced double play. As the count to Carter Mize. Is it a ball and a strike? Mize, who, like Buckner, grew up in the St. Louis area. Mize grew up in O'Fallon, Missouri. 1-1 the count. Infield back, and Mize goes around at a breaking ball and misses strike two. And the count now is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 the count to Mize. And the pitch from Buckner, and Mize goes around at a breaking ball, strike 3, and he is out like a change up there, and Mize comes up empty. So 2 away for a strikeout for Buckner. And now Eddie McCabe is the last hope for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Again, we're back at it tomorrow, 5:30 for the feed for the YouTube live link. Game 4 of this 6-game series. And the projected starters tomorrow, and I say projected because it seems like there's been a switch in the starters a lot for both teams in this series. Right-hander Brendan Knoll for Yolo, left-hander Nick Powers for Rocky Mountain. First pitch on the way, popped up foul right side by McCabe, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. McCabe is 0 for 3. Outfield around to the right. And the 0-1 pitch. And that hit him. And this is going to get the tying run to the plate. And it's Austin Davis. Like it glanced off the elbow of McCabe. So McCabe down to first. And now the top of the Rocky Mountain order comes up for the 5th time now for Austin Davis. And as I said, he represents the possible tying run. And, of course, if he gets on, then Yake would represent the winning run. Now, all that can be thrown out if Ty Buckner can get Davis in the ball game. Now, normally you wouldn't see anybody warming up after Buckner. I mean, normally that's it. I mean, it's usually the end of the line, but it looks like Connor Langrell, who really serves as a co-closer with Buckner. And Langrell just very softly loosening up down there on the left field line. Williams out to give a little breather to Buckner, and obviously Buckner, I'd have to think Buckner and Davis saw each other this year with Oakland. But it's gone down to this now here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And a 6-2 Yolo lead, but Davis is the tying run. Davis 6 hits through his first 3 games as a member of the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Davis 9 home runs with Oakland this year. So the bases are loaded with 2 out in the bottom of the ninth inning, and Yolo up 6-2. And the first pitch to Davis, and that is low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball, no strikes. Now the High Wheelers would like to challenge that. So it's been confirmed a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes the count to Austin Davis. Well, the runner at third base is Rivas. Schunard at second, McCabe at first. 6-2 Yolo, and the pitch, and Davis takes, and that is low ball 2, and now Buckner backing himself into a corner here. They had 2 balls and no strikes. Now who knows how this inning's going to play out, but got to really credit Schunard. He had quite an at-bat, fouled off a handful of 2-strike pitches, worked his way into a single. 2 balls, no strikes, and the pitch, and Davis swings and drives one high and deep, but very foul. No chance of that leaving the yard. 2 balls and 1 strike. I mean, Davis had the right idea. Buckner knew he had to come in with 1. Davis knew it. He was swinging for the fences there, but pulled it foul. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count on this, as I said, little cooler and breezier and somewhat lightning-filled night tonight here in Colorado Springs. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Runners everywhere. 6-2 Yolo and the pitch, and Davis takes low. Ball 3, 3-1, and again, if Davis gets on, the man on deck in Yake, who's been a tough out over the last few series against Yolo, he would represent the winning run. Lingrell hustling things up a little more now in the left field bullpen. So 3 balls and 1 strike to count. And 3-1 is similar to 2-0, and Buckner obviously doesn't want to walk Davis, and Davis knows that. The kick on the 3-1 pitch, and Davis swings, ground ball, throw into left center, a base hit. Rivas scores. Schunard will as well. It is 6-2 in favor of the High Wheelers. McCabe moves up to second. So Davis a single to left center. Give him 2 RBIs. And now Ernie Yake represents the winning run. 6-4 now Yolo. Yake is 1 for 3, a single, a run scored, and a sacrifice fly. Winning run at the plate, outfield not terribly deep around to the left. Anything that gets up the gap is going to tie the game, I think safe to say. 6-4 now Yolo and the pitch, and Yake takes, and that's at the knees for a strike. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. Davis now with 4 RBIs this year. As 4 RBIs as a vibe, that is. The pitch on the way, lifted foul, left side, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes, so now Rocky Mountain is down to its last strike. Davis now overall 43 runs batted in this season. 0-2 the count. Runners at first and second, the pitch, and McCabe takes way outside. Waste pitch there by Buckner. Knows he had a little wiggle room with it being 0-2. So now the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now if Yake gets on, Dean Toffland has grabbed the bat and would hit for Lopez. Runner at second, McCabe. Davis the tying run at first, the pitch, and Yake swings. High fly ball, right field, well struck. And Smith, the diving effort, can't get it. This is going to tie the game, and Ernie Yake is going to end up at third base, and we are tied at 6. A 2-out, 2-strike, game-tying triple in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now the best the High Wheelers can do is hope for the knockout round. And Ty Buckner has been knocked out here in the 9th inning. 3 straight 2-out batters have reached, and now the winning run is at third in Ernie Yake. Didn't have enough to get out of here, but it did the job. I said any ball that was going to get up the gap was going to tie the game. And a good effort by the right fielder in Tanner Smith, but did all he could do to dive and try and preserve the win right there, but it won't be a regulation win for Yolo, which means Ben Ferrer's outing completely wasted tonight. 7 really, really good innings from Ben Ferrer, and he'll have nothing to show for it. And now Connor Langrell. And of course, this is not a safe situation with the game tied, but now he just has to try and save the tie. Buckner ends up lasting 2/3 of an inning tonight, allowing 4 hits. Of course, his line not complete, but that's really trivial right now. And Connor Langrell is going to have to hope to get the last out here on the bottom of the 9th inning, and the best the High Wheelers can do is now go to a knockout round in a series where we've yet to see a home run on either side. Langrell, 1 win, 1 loss, 2.37 ERA, 25th appearance, all out of the bullpen, which matches Jack Zalaski. For most on the team in terms of appearances. So Langrell comes on for the second time in this series. 6'4", 230 pounds. He's 22 years old. And Connor Langrell, so Connor Langrell on to pitch. And now Dean Tofflin is going to pinch hit with a winning run at third and Yake. So Dean Tofflin's pinch hitting for Devin Lopez. And a lot of pressure here on the catcher Mendoza, and obviously on the pitcher and Langrell. Anything that gets past Mendoza likely wins the game for Rocky Mountain. And the pitch, swing, ground ball, foul up along third, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. So unbelievable. A 4-run bottom of the 9th inning. Back-to-back 2-run hits with 2 out. You don't see back-to-back 2-run hits very often. Tofflin, 298, 12 homers, 48 runs batted in. 6-6, bottom of the 9th inning. Winning run at third is Yake. And the pitch on the way, and Tofflin takes a breaking ball. Drops in nicely, strike 2 on the outer half. No balls and 2 strikes. So Langrell, as I said, he's got to be careful. He cannot really afford to bounce a pitch right here. And Mendoza has to do everything he can to keep the ball in front of him. 0-2 the count with Minzy on deck. And the pitch, and Tofflin takes low outside, ball 1. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes from Langrell. 4-2 seam fastball, a cutter, a curveball, and a changeup. And the 1-2, and Tofflin swings and misses strike 3. Breaking pitch there gets him, and he is out. And we're going to the knockout round. So regulation ends at 6-6. First strikeout for Langrell. 4 runs, all coming with 2 out for Rocky Mountain. So 4 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left. So, as I said, in a series that we have yet to see a home run by either team. We've played 3 full games in this series. We've yet to see either team go deep. And now they're going to have to set up for the knockout round. So we will give you the final totals. Now, the time of the game still is going. There is no break in the time of the game, but the final stats are complete. So Yolo in this one comes up with 6 runs, 11 hits. There were no error. Let's see. There was 1 error for Yolo. That was in the 8th inning. I forgot to mention that error, throwing error by Holt. That 8th inning, there was 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and no one left for Rocky Mountain. So Yolo 6 runs in this game. The final total: 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and Yolo ends up stranding 5. For the Rocky Mountain Vibes, they came up with 6 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. And Rocky Mountain ends up leaving 6. Obviously, there are no winning and losing pitchers. The final line on Ty Buckner: 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. No walks, a strikeout, and a hit batter. Connor Langrell worked 1/3 of an inning with 1 strikeout. John Solfest for Rocky Mountain, he lasted 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, which were both earned, 1 walk, and no strikeouts in his pro debut. So again, the final totals: Yolo 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, 5 left. Rocky Mountain 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, and 6 left. Yolo starter Ben Ferrer will get, well, everybody gets a no decision tonight. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jack Zalaski, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, not earned, no walks, no strikeouts. Ty Buckner, 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned, no walks, a strikeout, and a hit batter. Connor Langrell, 1/3 of an inning with 1 strikeout. For Rocky Mountain, Carlos Lomelli, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, a strikeout, 2 wild pitches, and a hit batter. Nick McClanahan, 1 inning, 1 strikeout. P.J. Labriola, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And John Solfest, again, 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So, as I said, this will take us to the knockout round. So the grounds crew is setting that up right now. Yolo 3 times in a recent series against Oakland went to the knockout round. Yolo won 2 of those. Trying to see if these 2 teams have played a knockout round against each other this year. And no, they have not. So they have not played the knockout round against one another. So looks like we are set to go, and it's going to be Edwin De La Cruz who will represent the High Wheelers. High Wheelers, by the way, are 2-5 in the knockout round this year. So we will. Not sure about Rocky Mountain, what their knockout round record is, but anyway, Yolo is 2-5 in the knockout round. So here we go, Edwin De La Cruz to face pitching coach Jerome Williams, and that's popped up foul, so that's out number 1. Both teams in front of their dugouts. De La Cruz lets one go by. Again, 2 minutes you get. So the clock in motion. You get 5 outs. De La Cruz has already used 1 of the outs. As De La Cruz drives this one to left, but nowhere near leaving the yard. So that's 2 outs. Of course, you can homer as many times as you want. De La Cruz drives this one deep toward right center field. But that doesn't leave the yard, so that's 3 outs. Now flies this one deep to left. And it doesn't leave. So that's 4 outs. And I think De La Cruz you can use a timeout for 30 seconds to kind of gather things, gather your thoughts. Yolo again 2-5 of the knockout round, but going with Edwin De La Cruz. So 1 minute and 14 seconds we put back on the clock. So I would have thought we'd come down to this here tonight. Rocky Mountain scoring 4 times in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Back-to-back 2-out, 2-run hits. 2-run single by Davis, 2-run triple by Yake. And De La Cruz lets this one go by. We're down to 1 minute 12. Jerome Williams delivers, and De La Cruz drives this one. Pretty well struck. And that hits the video board, so that's a home run. So that's 1 home run. Home plate umpire ruled that a home run. I mean, that went off the scoreboard. Rocky Mountain is saying that ball bounced. Les Lancaster is going to argue with the plate umpire, Elliot Sparks. Crew chief Cody Kernut comes down from the first base side. Jerome Williams, of course, he's saying, hey, look, I gave up a home run. You know, both teams are out in front of their dugouts. Billy Horton being told to get the guys back. I mean, that ball hit the scoreboard. I mean, it's... yeah, both managers arguing right now. I wonder if there's ever been a manager ejected over in a knockout round. I mean, obviously I'm in my first year in this league. But looks like at least 1 home run there for Yolo. Well, De La Cruz was yet to homer in a professional game. I mean, obviously, mid-game we're talking. And De La Cruz here drives one to deep center field. And it misses, just lands in front of the fence. So he has to settle for 1 home run. And now it's Rocky Mountain's turn. De La Cruz had 2 home runs this past spring for Arkansas Pine Bluff. So we'll see if this will hold. I think Les Lancaster, the old Cub pitcher, he will do the honors, and, well, why not have Steven Rivas, who has 23 home runs, second in the league. He's going to try and give the Vibes a couple of home runs here, which would win this one. Again, the regular portion ended 6-6. And I'll be back in a moment. All right, here we go. And Rivas lets one go by from Les Lancaster as Rivas drives one deep down the right field side. That's a foul ball. So that's 1 out. Rivas lets another one go by. And now that's his second out. Drives this one, the line drive foul right side. 2,511 the paid crowd tonight, as Rivas drives this one high and very deep, but very foul. So that's his third out. So paid crowd tonight, 2,511, seeing some late night excitement here. So Rivas, 3 swings, 3 outs. Yolo has the 1 home run in the top of this knockout round by Edwin De La Cruz. Rivas lets this one go by. We're down to 1 minute and 27. And Rivas swings, drives this one deep down the right field line, and this ball is fair. And Rocky Mountain has matched the High Wheelers. And now Rivas, that's his 4th foul ball. He just hits one on the ground foul. So Rivas has one more swing left. This swing will determine, the next swing will determine whether or not Rocky Mountain wins or we go to a second round knockout. Here we go. Lets this one go by. 55 seconds left. Rivas swings. There's one high and deep, but very, very foul down the right field line. So each team has a home run in the first round. And now, of course, each team will have to have another batter come up. That's how it works. If you're tied each round, you move on. You go to a different batter. So De La Cruz is done. Rivas is done. So it was actually I think it was the fourth swing for each player. So we will now go to the second round of the knockout round. And people asked me, I think it was after the first knockout round Yolo was involved in this year, what it was like to announce a knockout round. I said, you know what, I don't know, because I have never announced batting practice before. So we'll see who the High Wheelers bring out. Remember, the two rounds the two knockout rounds Yolo has won this year, both courtesy of Jose Gonzalez. So again, the paid crowd tonight, 2,511. And it looks like Gary Davenport, the bench coach, he's warming up right now. I think he's going to come in. Again, the time of the game keeps right on going. This is part of the game, so it wasn't like even though the 9 innings ended, the game still is going. So Gary Davenport will pitch to Braylon Marine. So we'll go to the second round of the knockout round. Marine, 7 home runs this year. He had 3 hits tonight. So, again, mentioned the paid crowd at 2,511. And I'd say maybe less than half of that still here. I can understandably, a lot of the folks left after 8.5 innings or before. So now here we go. Braylon Marine will try and knock a few out. 2 minutes back on the clock. I don't know why I keep holding my indicator. There's no ball strikes here. And so Marines let a couple of ones gone by. Now Braylon swings away and lifts one deep to left field. And it's off the wall. That's an 18-foot wall out there. So that's 1 out. Each team with 1 home run in the first round. Down to 1.5 minutes, clock ticking. Second round. And Braylon Marine lets a few go by. Talked to Gary Davenport about this. As Marine swings, gives this one a ride. That is way, way gone. And Braylon swings at the next one, and that's lifted foul. So that's 2 outs. Gary Davenport says, he takes it personally if he can't, if he can't get the pitch over the plate in these knockout rounds. I mean, he tries to make it perfect in these knockout rounds, and obviously Gary, for pretty much his whole life, has thrown batting practice. But anyway, this is where it really, really counts. We're down to 1.5 minutes here in the second knockout round. Yolo has 1 home run in this round by Braylon Marine. Down to just under a minute now. And that's hit number 3, out number 3. It's a line drive to left. Down to 44 seconds here in the second round. Marine has 1 home run. And now that's out number 4. On a line drive to left. And now Braylon swings and flies one softly to center. And that will bounce. So That's the fifth out, 1 home run. So now Rocky Mountain needs, of course, hit 1 to tie or 2 to win. And we'll see who's getting loose here. Looks like Dane Tofflin, who struck out in the 9-inning portion of the game. He's got 12 home runs. And he will come in and obviously try and tie it or win it. Does not think we have a different pitcher here. Chad De La Guerra, I believe that's him, is also the third base coach. But I believe that's De La Guerra that is getting loose. So Braylon Marine with a home run in the second round, but now it's going to be Tofflin who will try and win it, or at least tie it for Rocky Mountain. Second round of the knockout round, 2 minutes back on the clock. And here we go. Tofflin lets one go by. And now he swings and pops one up, and that'll be a foul ball, but it's an out. So that's 1 out. Tofflin lets this one go by. Next one, another foul ball, right side. Doesn't matter where it's hit. It's an out, so that's 2 outs. Down to a minute 23. Tofflin flies this one to deep center and goes off the wall. That's the third out. Yolo is 1 up here in the second round of the knockout round. We're down to a minute 14 clock running. I feel like I'm doing a basketball or a football game. Tofflin swings, lazy fly ball center field. That won't leave the yard. That's the fourth out. So it comes down to this. Tofflin has one more swing, which in this next swing will either tie it or win it for Yolo, because Braylon Marine with a home run in the top of the second knockout round. So here we go. Tofflin lets this one go by. He has 4 outs. Lets another one go by. We're down to exactly a minute. Clock ticking. And that's it. Tofflin, a foul ball. It's over, and Yolo wins the ball game as the High Wheelers come jumping up and down near that third base dugout, and they bring out the Gatorade bath to Braylon Marine, and this game is now over. And Yolo does win this one here this evening, a game that took 3 hours and 7 minutes and 2 knockout rounds. So Braylon Marine in the second round, 1 up, 1-0 if you will, over Dane Tofflin, and the High Wheelers somehow do get out of here with a win tonight. So despite it 4-run lead being blown in the 9th inning, they win the knockout round and win the game and take 2. They win 2 out of the first 3 games of this series. So the High Wheelers with a win go to 32-29, 9-6 in the second half. Rocky Mountain drops to 27-34 and 6-9 in the second half. By the way, the High Wheelers highlights, and I didn't mention it while we set up the knockout round. The first inning, the High Wheelers scored twice. A 2-out RBI single by left fielder Jose Gonzalez and an RBI single by Tanner Smith. It was set up by a Braylon Marine single to left. In the 5th inning, Braylon Marine had a 1-out RBI double to center. In the 8th, it was Jose Gonzalez, an RBI double to center. And then in the 9th inning, those 2 runs were huge as it turned out. Tanner Smith, the right fielder, led off with a walk. Kirkland Banks, an infield single and a stolen base. Travis Holt, a sacrifice fly. And Braylon Skinner, an RBI single at the top of the order for the 5th time. Braylon Skinner and Braylon Marine each had 3 hits tonight. Again, Rocky Mountain scored a run in the 6th, and then a run in the 8th, and then 4 in the 9th. Again, the back-to-back 2-out, 2-run hits. Austin Davis, a center fielder at the top of the order for the 5th time, and he had a 2-run single, and then Ernie Yake, a 2-run triple. And again, 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and 5 left for Yolo. Rocky Mountain, 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, and 6 left. 2,511 paid to see it. 3 hours and 7 minutes this game took in what really turned out to be in the very end a crazy game, but Yolo wins the game via the knockout round. Edwin De La Cruz, a first round home run, and then Braylon Marine, a second round homer, and that was it. De La Cruz and Steven Rivas each homering the first knockout round, and the second knockout round, Braylon Marine bested Dane Tofflin. High Wheelers, by the way, this year are now 3-5 in the knockout round. 6-6 the final tonight, but Yolo wins the knockout round, a 2-round knockout round, 2-1. All right, and by the way, Ben Ferrer mentioned, hats off to him, 7 strong innings tonight with nothing to show for it for the Yolo starter. 6 hits, 1 run earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Carlos Lomelli, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all earned, no walks, a strikeout, 2 wild pitches, and a hit batter. Our next YouTube live cast will be tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 5:30 Pacific, and a 5:35 p.m. Pacific first pitch. It'll be for Yolo right-hander Brendan Knoll at 0-1, and for Rocky Mountain left-hander Nick Powers at 1-3. Till then, Doug Greenwald saying good night, with Yolo winning the knockout round in 2 rounds,